This is the Tri-State Time Machine. Each week, your host, Vanessa Hankins, and her guests share memories and stories about the past, the present, and the future of the Tri-State area. That's West Virginia, Kentucky, and the Ohio areas. If you used to live here, or you currently live here, you're going to catch yourself saying out loud, "Wow, I remember that." Now, here's Vanessa.
Hey guys, it's Vanessa, and this is the Tri-State Time Machine. Today, we're diving into the eerie and enchanted corners of Appalachia with Princeton, West Virginia author Joshua Bish. Am I saying that correctly?
That is correct.
Okay, I want to make sure that I'm saying that right.
Oh, yeah, it's easy to mess up.
Yeah. Well, I was like, watch me say a bad word and say...
I grew up with it, so I'm used to it.
I'm sure. Joshua is a campus police officer at Concord University, a former soldier with the West Virginia Army National Guard, and the creative force behind Appalachian horror novels like The Lady in the Flesh, Room 316, Blood of Psalm, and his upcoming book, Echoes in the Stone. His work is rooted in folklore, hidden histories, inherited trauma, and the supernatural atmosphere of that our region is known for. Joshua blends his local legends, cultural memory, and psychological terror to show how Appalachia shapes its identity, storytelling, and fear. If you've ever felt that our mountains hold secrets just below the surface, I think this episode's going to be for you. So, Josh, welcome to the episode. Is that okay if I call you Josh instead of Joshua?
That is perfectly fine.
Okay.
Yes, my mom calls me Joshua, but only when she's mad.
Okay, well, I understand that completely, 100%. We'll jump right in. For those that are meeting you for the first time or hearing about you for the first time, who is Josh Bish, and what titles behind it, are like, you got author, officer, veteran? Which one do you introduce yourself as?
Honestly, I'm pretty simple. I'm a husband, a dad. I live quiet. I'm grounded.
I love that.
Yeah, when I wake up, I do like most people do, especially here in the Mountain State. I go to work, come home,
yes,
sit in my recliner, turn on the TV, and just live my life.
Absolutely. We love a recliner.
Oh, yes. Sometimes whenever it's my turn to cook, I'll cook. And just like any other mountaineer, I think I cook good, but it's only for my house.
Well, my husband's the chef in our family, so I can't relate.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just a simple, quiet little guy.
Yeah.
I do the writing stuff. Like I said, I'm an officer down at the Concord University. Before that, I was a deputy sheriff for Mercer County.
Nice.
I've been law enforcement 18 years. I was in the Army for 9. I was originally with the 1st 150th out of Williamson.
Okay.
Are you familiar where that's at?
I do, yes.
Have you ever been there?
I have.
Okay, so you know about the flood wall.
I do.
That's an awesome thing.
Yes, it really is. I worked a lot in Mingo when I was doing prevention work. Like when I was telling you before we started recording with Greg Puckett, okay. I had 10 counties that I covered, and Mingo was one of them.
Yeah.
So
that's one of those. I used to, after graduating from Pikeview High School,
okay,
and joined the military and stuff. This was right after 9/11. So I'm sure you remember how the Mountain State was back then. We was all
absolutely.
Yeah, let's get up. We gotta.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to do something. So I did that, and I would drive after boot camp. I would drive the 2 hours up Route 52 from Princeton all the way to Williamson. It made it about a 2.5, 3 hour drive.
I've done that exact drive,
and it's a coal road, so
yes,
know. And it's one of those I always told people: while you're driving that way, if you don't almost die from getting ran over or falling off Horseshoe Mountain,
yes,
you haven't really drove it.
I remember the first time that I went into Williamson, there's that area around the mountain where all those wild horses are. And I just couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh. And everyone's like, oh yeah, this is just this is common. This is every day. They're always out here and you got to watch for them because they'll be in the middle of the road. And I'm like, what? I'm like, this is wild.
It was fun. It's always and then I was a young driver, and my car back then was a 1984 Cutlass Oldsmobile.
Oh, nice.
It was a boat.
Yeah.
And I was young. I didn't know how to drive, but I thought I did.
Right. We all did. Yes. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. I guess that's basically me.
Okay. I like it. I like that when I have guests on, they're always kind of like, oh, I don't want to talk about me. But it doesn't have to be big and flashy. Like you can live a simple life, and I'm the same. I live a very simple life. I'm not a social butterfly by any means. I think a lot of people have that misconception about me, but I would rather be home around the fireplace, some hot chocolate with my kids, hanging out.
Exactly. Yeah. I guess you're right. Yeah, I'm a homebody at sense, but I'll have my little spurts.
Right.
I want to like, okay, I need to make
You
sure
need to get out of the house a little bit.
Still around.
Yeah.
So like me and my wife, we go on cruises. We go.
Oh, nice.
We travel a little bit, but for the most part, yeah, I'd rather be at home.
Yeah, that's me. I'm the same way. So what was your introduction, Jesus, into Appalachian storytelling?
Basically, it started with my dad.
Okay.
This was, let me give your tri-state people a little idea of where I'm talking about.
Okay.
All right. I know the tri-state, you're talking about West Virginia, Ohio, and Kentucky.
Yes.
Where I live at Princeton, we only have a dual state. It's
right.
West Virginia and Virginia. And a lot of people in Mercer County, we tend to go south when we travel or we go to visit places. Mm-hmm. So my family has some land down in Ripplemead, right off New River.
Oh, nice.
As you're going towards Virginia Tech, it's the very last bridge you cross on 460, and it's right underneath it. It's been in the family as long as I can remember.
Okay.
And we would always go down there. That was our vacation during the summer.
Absolutely.
Now I'm thinking about it, I think we was poor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like most of Appalachia, it's okay. That's who we are.
But it was fun.
Yes.
But my dad, every night, the entire family or whatever would sit by the fireplace, and he would sit and make up random stories. Just off the top
I wish I
of
had
his
that
head.
trait. Yeah.
And it was one of those, I guess I picked up on it.
Yeah.
Because I was able to start doing it, but I would sit and listen to him. And when I got older, I think I was about to graduate high school. We was sitting around, and my younger cousins and stuff was around, and he kept telling these ghost stories about a random abandoned house that was in the middle of the woods out there.
Right.
And it was just,
all the spooky things.
Yeah, it was corny. So corny. But just
I was
interesting.
going to say, you get wrapped up in those kinds of stories. You
do.
really do.
And then, of course, all the kids would go to bed. He would sit out, drink his moonshine
Yes.
around the campfire, look at me, and then said, in about 2 hours, when the train goes by, because there's a train track right near where we would camp at, and he would say, half of those kids are going to come out screaming. And he says, when they do, I'm going to scare the shit out of them.
I love it. I love it so much.
And like clockwork, he would do it. I guess
That's great.
I caught onto it with him that way. And then fast forward a few years after my time in the military, going overseas, coming home, finding my calling in law enforcement, I would write down stuff, but I wasn't sure how to,
what you were going to do with it. Yeah.
what am I going to do? How do I do this? And a lot of it was, like you said before, I didn't used to like talking about myself. I still don't.
Yeah.
But I swallow it now.
Yes.
But back then I was like, I'm not going to put myself out in that. So I think it was about a year and a half ago, my daughter, I gave her my old laptop so she can mess with it as she was doing her thing. And she found one of my folders of creepy stories. That's what I would have the folder. And there was only maybe 2-3 pages worth of like little short stories. She would read through it and she said, Dad, why didn't you do something with this?
Oh, I love that.
I looked at her. Her name was Amaya. And I looked at her. I was like, I don't know what to do. She says, she point blank. She just turned 17, I think. And she says, grab your fucking balls and do it. One, I'm going to beat your ass.
Yeah.
Two, okay.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I love a girl that knows exactly what she wants to say and do and puts it out there into the world.
Oh, yeah. Bad thing is she's about 5'0", skinny as a beanpole. But
that's always the ones.
Mean.
I love that. I love that you grew up with Appalachian storytelling because, I have one gentleman in my life. My mom had adopted a cousin of mine because her mom wasn't fit to take care of her. And she had this really awesome, they never got married or anything, but they were, sweethearts and they had a child together and all that. And he was the most amazing storyteller and he could just make up things on a whim. And I always just thought that was such an incredible trait and was so jealous. Like I always wanted to be a good storyteller. So I think that's awesome that you got to grow up with that.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got to, now you're putting your storytelling out into the world. So I think that's awesome.
Oh, yes.
So on our intake form, you said that you would travel to the 1900s because storytelling was at its strongest. What fascinates you about that era the most?
Fascinates me about the 1900s is the family mindset.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, especially around our area, that the stories weren't just for entertainment; they were explanations as
Right.
to why the world turns.
Absolutely.
They filled the gaps before science had answers. Folklore existed because people needed a way to understand, how the world worked, protect the families, and pass down warnings, not just simple little
Absolutely.
tales.
Absolutely.
They were simple, direct, and purposeful. Mm-hmm. They weren't meant to impress, just like my dad's stories. They didn't impress nobody. They was corny.
Right.
But they was something you would remember.
Absolutely. I love that. And I think I would agree with you. I've never thought of it in that way, but you're right. Storytelling was at its strongest in that point. And that was the way, like even in newspapers and stuff, even if it was folklore, things like that still would get published in the local newspapers. And, everyone knew that it was folklore and didn't get all worked up. Like now everyone goes to social media over like some fake crazy thing.
Oh, yeah.
And the masses believe it. They don't stop for 2 seconds and use their common sense.
Oh, yeah.
And they just go wild with it. So I agree with you. I think I would totally love that era for that very reason.
Oh, yeah. That's another way I look at it is not just the storytelling, because it does, it bridges that gap between science and fake.
Absolutely.
And that's my thing is I like the fake stuff.
Yeah,
'Cause
absolutely.
That's lets just like when we was growing up, tell my age a little bit, we would go outside, especially when school wasn't in. We didn't have the traffic lights or anything like that where I grew up at.
Yeah, we didn't
it
either.
wasn't know till the lights went off or whatever.
Yeah.
It was when the sun went away.
Yes.
And we would use our imagination to go play, to go do whatever we needed to. And like you're saying, I think that's what pushed like the newer generation, because they don't have that.
They really
They have
don't.
all they have is the social medias, and
They
you're
really
right,
do.
everybody-
They've lost their imagination.
if it's posted on Facebook, Instagram, whatever social media thing they look at, they believe it like it's written in gold.
They really do.
And so, fun story.
Absolutely. I love stories.
So whenever I first started, because where I'm self-published.
Okay.
What that means is I go through Ingram Spark or Amazon KDP,
Okay.
which means I submit my manuscript. They read through it. They approve it. They say, okay, we're going to sell your book. So that means that I write it, I edit it.
You're doing all the work.
All the work.
Yes.
I drew all my covers, all my illustrations.
Oh, that's so cool.
And also that means I have to promote them myself.
Yes.
Which it's a headache, but I still like it.
It makes you be an extrovert whether you want to be or not.
It does. And we'll get into that part later.
Okay.
But longer story short, when I first started publicizing The Lady in Flesh, my first book, it's based off of, or it starts off in the 1600s.
Okay.
And it follows the traditional Native Americans of the time. They was Inuits. They
Gotcha.
wouldn't settle in one place. And actually, where Concord was actually built on was what they called Yahweh,
Okay.
which was a place of worship. That was their
Their sanctuary.
their very.
I was trying to think of the best word for
Yes.
that.
And they would actually have their spirit walkers and their healers go up and do their fasting where Concord was actually built. That was
That's so
100%
cool.
true.
Yeah.
And that's in my books.
Okay.
And that's just what I base it off of, is that type of stuff. So as I decided to make a blog. Try to through my research, I've seen a lot of the more grounded,
Right.
independent authors. They found that way of, hey, I'll just create a blog, go through my creative process of how I did this.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that, and I put a teaser of the first 4 chapters.
Ooh.
Just a little,
Yeah. Just enough to give you a taste.
Just enough to go make you think, wow, that's good, and oh, what is wrong with him?
I love it.
And so at the end of the 4th chapter, needless to say, I'm not going to spoil it.
Okay.
But it's going to be, if you're a parent, you will hate me.
Okay.
From what
Noted.
happens.
Noted.
But it'll be intriguing. So I put a little snippet of that on the blog thing. I get an email from some random religious group. I've never heard of them. Didn't know what they were.
Yeah.
And they were saying, and that part of my story is fiction of
Right.
what happened. Because
Right.
how would I know what one person did back
Right.
in the 1600s? unless
Exactly.
They didn't write, because they used folklore back then. They talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just They threatened lawsuit. They threatened all kinds of stuff. And I said,
People are wild.
it's crazy. They believed it 100%.
Oh, yeah.
And I ended up calling their attorney. And he 100% said, hey, just ignore it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is what they do.
This is fiction. And he's like, I did a little research. You know how the court systems work. You know, this is it ain't going to.
Right.
It got thrown out. It got dismissed. But it was
But still, people are wild.
It was like, and I have a big old disclaimer. This is not real.
Yes, exactly.
There is, like my series, it's based on a tear in the world where where monsters come through.
Yes. I love that. I love that. Well, and like that's the thing about like people nowadays. They lack that common sense, and they get so fired up before they even like read the disclaimer.
Yes.
Like, did you see that part where I said?
And to get there, they had to go to my website, which the first image of my website is obviously a horror thing.
Yeah.
Something really it's scary looking. It's
right. They had to have
use your
known.
brain.
Yeah. Well, and I have found that a lot of, and listeners don't get mad at me, but I have found that a lot of these religious groups that have made it their goal just to like search the internet and pick fights, that usually they're all out of their minds.
Yeah.
They're just completely out there.
They are. And you know as well as I do, we live in the Bible Belt.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up in that.
Yes.
And it's even the hardcore religious in our area are not that
Yes.
way. It's
Yes. I agree.
use your head.
Yes, please use the brain. God gave it to you for a reason. Do you have a favorite local legend or ghost story that shaped your writing? Or do you think it was just the stuff from your dad? All of it?
I think it was a mixture of all.
Okay.
Mainly, there's not one's really specific. Families would just tell and explain the stories that, you know, they felt would entertain the kids at the time, and as well as make you think.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, it's just like helping. I guess the modern term would be building that critical thinking.
Right.
You know, something that we actually pay lots of money to actually build now.
Right. Oh, 100%. I love that. So how was working as a campus police officer influenced your interest in fear, tension, and psychological horror? I know that there is a lot that as a law enforcement officer in any realm, whether it be sheriff, you know, on a college campus, a state trooper, whatever. And I was telling you, I work with a lot of law enforcement in several different realms of my life. And the things that they go through mentally is just astounding to me. But then secondly, there's this other fold of it of shit you can't make up that you're like, wow, how did that happen? Like, how do people survive day to day when these are things that are happening in their life? So, you know, there's both sides of it. You're seeing these really terrible, awful things, but then you're also these things that if you don't laugh, like you're just left in this like, what the fuck just happened? Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that just goes to show that I tell everybody, if even those that don't like law enforcement just because they're law enforcement.
Just because, yes.
Anytime I get an opportunity, I was like, if you get a chance, talk to a police officer, state trooper, deputy sheriff, whatever form of law enforcement.
Yes.
Talk to them outside of work.
Mm-hmm. And they're all so different.
Yes.
They get like put into this capsule of them all being the exact same person with these exact same personalities, and you know, this almost like people assume that they hate these communities that they're putting their life on the line for. I'm like, that makes no sense at all. Think about what you're saying when you say that, you know.
When I can honestly say, when I first started in law enforcement, this was been back in 2007. I started with Princeton Police Department.
Okay.
Keep in mind, this was also the mid 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My starting pay was $10 an hour.
Oh, I believe it.
I knew I wasn't going to get rich, but it was a lot more money that I was making already from working at Walmart at the time, which was, I think, $6 an hour. Mm-hmm. So at that time, when I got offered
living big,
I was, wow, I can finally get the good toilet paper.
Yes, exactly. You
know, but it's just, my main thing is befriend one. Maybe not even befriend one.
Just get to know them.
Yeah.
Take the time.
Because a lot of people always ask me, whenever especially if they come over to my house for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
you see me out working, I got a kind of a fake mohawk looking thing going on.
Yeah, I got it.
And I got and a full beard. I look like your average dad bod mountain man.
Yes, I would agree with that. By looking at you right now, I would agree with that.
Okay. But you come in my house, my living room is decorated with Marvel, Star Wars,
Love it.
bunch of nerd stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a big nerd. My
I love it.
bedroom, my wife loves this part. It's all horror. I've got a Pennywise doll that sits on top of my dresser.
See, I can't do clowns, so I couldn't. Don't invite me over.
My kitchen is decorated nothing but Fallout themed stuff.
Oh, my son would go crazy. He loves Fallout.
And then play Dungeons and Dragons and all that
He's
other
a Dungeons
stuff.
and Dragons guy,
What
yeah.
I tell a lot of people, and actually I use this line in one of my books with one of my main characters, is, I'm a nerd, yes, but I'm a cool nerd.
Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. Have you ever experienced anything or something like specific on campus that has made its way into your books?
Okay, yes. That's actually what pushed me to write the Psalm series.
Okay.
The setting is in Athens, West Virginia,
Okay.
and it is Concord. On Concord, there's a dorm. It's called Sarvey Hall. It's very old.
Okay.
To the point it's filled with they don't let kids stay in it anymore. It's filled
Right.
with asbestos and stuff like that. So you can imagine it. But they can't really tear it down because it would cost more to tear it down.
Absolutely.
Because you gotta have special stuff come in to tear
All
it down
those
now.
permits and
So they're
yep.
still in the process of what do we do?
Right.
And it's understandable. Well, there's stories. When I first got there 4 years ago at Concord, I was put on midnight shift like anytime whenever you start a new job,
Any
you
rookie.
start at the
Yep.
bottom.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what kind of experience you got, you start at the bottom.
100%.
I was walking around midnight shift one time, and I was looked up at the building and I was like, that's a creepy building. And it was foggy. The atmosphere was perfect.
Perfect. Yeah.
And I was just like, wow. A couple days go past and I start asking people about it. And I hear a story about a room in Sarvey Hall, and it's in room 316,
Okay.
which is also the name of the second book.
Right. Right.
But in that room, there's a mural of Marilyn Monroe that some student painted years ago.
Totally random.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just one of those, like, what?
Yeah.
And
Why?
I even thought, I was like, okay, so they got paint on the wall, and they would explain to me, it's like, no, even maintenance, when they would paint over it or try to cover it or whatever, it never stayed covered, and it would just fade on back through.
Right.
I may be in the practical mindset person.
I need to see it.
I said, bullshit.
Yeah. I need to see
So
this.
I waited one midnight shift after all the kids I think it was a spring break. Nobody else was on campus but me, which
Right.
didn't help. 'Cause, you know, they were there. So I go in and I walk up to the third floor. I find room 316, and as I open the door, there's no power on the building.
Right.
So you have my flashlight, and my flashlight beam hits on this mural, and it kind of glows.
Oh, wow.
Scared the shit out of
I was going to say, I would have hightailed it at that point. I wouldn't have stayed.
me. So, and I looked at it, and it's very well done.
Oh, cool.
I mean, one of those, whoever did it, I hope to God they became an artist somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like, it looks just like Marilyn Monroe.
That's
Her
awesome.
face, it's just, and it's huge. It takes up the whole wall of the
Oh,
store.
wow.
And I went and touched it, and it's kind of engraved into it. So I was like, well, that makes sense, because if you're going to paint over that,
Right. It's
not
going to
really
keep,
gonna-
right.
And I was like, okay, I understand that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then, of course, now a couple days later, I start hearing ghost stories of some kid killed themselves in the university. Typical.
I was going to say, they're on every college
they're
campus,
on
I
every
feel like.
campus. And I'm
Yeah.
just going, okay, and they haunt the building. That's why they can't use it no more. And I was going, no, they can't use it because you'll get cancer.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
But okay, we'll stick with that.
We'll stick with that. Yeah.
But it's one of those, me having my mindset at the time of trying to start these writings, I said, well, let's use this.
Yeah. 100%. I love that. And what a cool, I just love the folklore, especially on campuses, because you have all these students from all over that maybe don't have any roots to Appalachia at all. And then they get into West Virginia and go to college, and that's all they're getting.
Oh, my favorite are the ones, the foreign students.
Yes.
That come in from all these other countries that
Yes.
I'm just wondering, how did you find this university?
Right. How did you land here in Huntington,
Yeah.
West Virginia, or
Yeah, it's just like,
Athens?
wow.
Right. 100%.
Yeah, but another fun one was that same building. I think it was about 2 years ago. The veterans group on campus, they organized for a professional ghost hunter to come onto campus to do a little walk around because Concord has some history.
Yeah.
It's got history from World War II. They would actually bring POWs there.
Okay, cool.
And the Civil War time frame, there was, the Battle of Pigeon Roost was right there in Princeton.
Right.
And that's when Princeton burnt.
Yes.
Back in then. And so, fair warning, I've always said this. After the age 40, a male either becomes a car nut or a history nut. There's no in between. I don't make enough money to be a car nut.
I was going to say, you're totally right, though. You're totally right. That's so funny.
So I like history.
I've got 2 years before my husband goes one way or the other.
Okay. Vote for the history. It's cheaper and you get to travel.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, but we had those ghost hunters come on, and because at the time I was also enrolled, I was taking classes. I was taking part of the benefits of working at a
Absolutely.
university and getting a degree. And I was like, okay. And plus, I was a veteran, so they always talked to me, and I also had the keys to everywhere.
Right. You were a good friend to have.
Yeah, so we would go through, we'd walk through, and in the Fine Arts building where the theater is, we the guy that was walking us around, I can't remember his name, but they said he was a big to-do. I was going, okay, sure.
Okay.
He asked me, he's like, when you walk arounds, whenever you go foot patrols or whatever, what place gives you the most creeps? And I was like, well, other than Sarvey, which I really don't want to take y'all there because that's cancer.
Right.
And I was like, the students call it the dungeon. It's in the Fine Arts building. It's underneath the stage. It's where all the elevator is for the stage
right.
lift and all that. And it is creepy.
Yes.
And they keep all their props down there.
Yeah.
They got caskets. They got
They got all the things, everything. Yes.
So go down there with him with this group. He pulls out all these fancy little toys.
Of course.
Just one of those. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pulls out a thermal camera that's got the screen on it so you can.
Those are really cool.
It is neat.
Yes.
I'm standing next to him and he's flashing around the room. There's maybe 10 students with us.
Okay.
They're all on say to the right of us. I'm standing to his back left and he takes the camera, fans over where we had just walked from. I know how thermal cameras work. After you touch something and you move your hand, it's still going to show up. I was expecting something like that so he'd get it through all the kids. And I was
right.
like, and I'll play along.
100%.
Just help him out. Now, in the doorway where we just walked through, there was a spiral staircase. There was a heat signature coming down, and it stopped kind of right there in front of us. And we have the lights off, so it's dark as to get out.
Right.
All I can see is the glow from his camera light, so we could see it. And I hear him kind of breathe weird.
He got freaked out.
Yeah, so I pulled out my flashlight, shined it over there. Nothing.
Oh.
And just one of those.
Yeah.
I don't want a poltergeist. We're leaving.
Yeah.
It was just one of those wow moments of that. And I seen how those kids reacted.
Yeah.
And then after that, the stories that they would tell, just like the, what was the game they used to play back in elementary school? Where you
Telephone. Yes.
You start with the story, tell something on the left side of the room. By the time it got all the way to the back of the class.
Oh, it's changed drastically.
Yes.
Yes.
And after that, I would hear kids in the cafeteria and the food area, in the eating areas, how they would come up with different stories of what happened. And I was just going, oh, I could use this.
Yes, 100%.
Oh, this is mine now.
I love it. That's awesome. I just love when you get the opportunity to work in an environment where you can pick up other people's brains and conversations. And because it's like you get this, I don't know the best wording for it, but you get this opportunity just by listening in, because I'm a people watcher 100%. So I'm listening to people, it doesn't even matter. I can be in the grocery store and I'm like, oh, what are they talking about? I have nothing better to do. Let me, and you get that outside, and then you're left with the gears turning of, wow, wonder if she ever figured out if her boyfriend was cheating on her or, whatever. But you make up your own stories in your mind of however that conversation panned out, after you were no longer listening,
Exactly. And I think a lot of the people watching, I do that also. It's so good.
It's my favorite.
And especially on campus because where I am a little bit older.
Yes.
And I have life experiences.
100%.
And I don't know 100% of the story, but I'm sure you can do it as well. Sit down.
Yes.
watching them and just seeing their body language, seeing their arms are crossed. Oh, they're mad.
Oh, yeah.
They're protected right now. They're wide open. They don't give a damn.
Yes, exactly. I went back to Marshall as a much older student when my little sister went to Marshall as a freshman, and we ended up having 2 or 3 classes together. And our experiences in those specific classes that we had together were night and day. Like the world that she was in experiencing as a freshman, and then me as like a 28-year-old coming back in and being the old woman in the class. And, by 28, you're not old by any means, but you look like the old woman in the class,
Try doing it at 40.
Oh, I can't even imagine going back now.
Oh,
I just turned 40 and I can't imagine.
Well, I will say this. This is not on topic of these.
Yeah.
However, it's, I guess, life topic.
Absolutely. We love life conversations on this show.
I tried to do the typical what you're supposed to do after graduation. I tried the
Right.
college thing, but, Army thing kind of kicked
I
in.
did the same thing. It just didn't work. It wasn't for me at the time.
It was hard. It was really hard.
Yeah, it was very hard for me, which school was not hard for me, but college was hard for me.
College was hard, yes.
Yes.
Now, fast forward to when I started at Concord because I did try Bluefield State.
Okay.
Whenever I first got out of high school and did the Army thing and stuff, I was trying, but it was just hard. Life got in the way, and I just couldn't.
100%.
I just didn't give a damn.
Same.
Then fast forward to when I'm 40, and I started when I was 39.
Okay.
And it was just so much easier.
Good to know.
Classes was just, I guess maybe because I understood, a little bit more about life. Mm-hmm. And I didn't stress as much over it as I did back then.
Yes. I think that was a big difference between me and my sister. Where she was a freshman, she was doing the whole bidding for a sorority and partying and living her best life. Meanwhile, I've got a kid at home. So I'm paying for this out of pocket. I'm not getting grants. I'm not getting any of that. So I had to be stressed because if I failed, I'm paying for this again.
Yeah.
So it was a rough go for me, 100%.
Yeah. But overall, I think even dealing with the professors, it was just so much easier.
I could see that.
Because a couple of them, it was just I took one of the history classes.
Just for fun. Why not?
No, it's one of those that I had to take.
Oh, well, that's a bummer then.
But the professor, I loved him. He was awesome. And Dr. Berkey is his name. He's
nice.
One of the best.
Sounds really friendly.
Very awesome.
You can't have a name like that and not be friendly as all get out.
Yeah, he runs the radio down at Concord.
Oh,
for the
nice.
Radio thing.
Okay.
And he's big into Civil War stuff, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll never forget. I think it was about 3/4 of the way through the class, and we was starting modern history. Now that's weird. Whenever they started the modern history,
I agree.
and we opened up the books, and lo and behold, there's a picture in the history book that they're using that has the first to 150th unit in it.
Oh, how cool!
And I was going to say, what the shit?
Yeah, but that is cool though.
Yeah, they had a picture of the FOB we was on, the Forward Operating Base, the Rough Rider. That's what we called it. And there was a picture of a Bradley fighting a Bradley and a Humvee with didn't recognize the soldier, but he had the insignia.
Right, he had the patch.
He had the patch.
Yeah.
It looks like a big Band-Aid.
Okay.
And it's just one of those. I was just going.
This is not history.
I looked at him and I said, "Hey, Dr. Berkey, I lived this. Do I have to do anything?"
Yeah.
He says, "Nah, you're good."
Yeah, you already know this. You're all right. That's so funny.
I was just like, wow. But then also that kind of made me sit back and think, I'm old. Fuck.
Well, yeah, I had, and these girls were so lovely, but I had 2 girls on last week from WMUL, the Marshall radio station.
Okay.
And they went through, one was the acting manager and one was now I think she said she was a professor. If I got that wrong, I'm sorry, girls. But I think she is now a professor, but still works with WMUL and all that. But they kept saying a long time ago in the 1900s, and I was like, "What? What?" I was like, "What do you mean?" I stopped recording, and I'm like, "What are you talking about here?" She's like, "Oh, the 90s." I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Both of y'all just leave, go now, out of here.
Oh, yeah. You gotta love that.
I was like, I was like, surely they're not meaning what they're saying. But in their, that is a long time ago for them. They weren't born, a lot of them. No. So I'm like, okay, I'm old. It is what it is. But, and I say this so often on the podcast, I love getting older. Life is getting better by the year. like 100%.
Don't you think we're aging better too?
Oh yes, 100%.
I'll never forget. I don't understand it. I remember when I was growing up, I would see a guy my age, 40. Mm-hmm. He would be overly bald,
haggard,
just
yes,
out of shape. Which, granted, I'm not the best shape, but I'm not that.
Right, 100%. It's wild. It really is.
Even the women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still think it's funny because, I had my son when I was 16. So for the first half of my life, I was very used to, oh my God, you're a young mom. I can't believe you have a kid, blah, blah, blah. But now that I'm 40, I'm like, oh, my son's 23. And people are like, how?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, by the way, when I was 16, I had a kid. But, he's grown now, and this is where we're at. And they're like, you don't look old enough. And I was like, well, I'm really not. So, it makes sense.
It's good, though, because the light of the tunnel was right there.
Yes.
I will warn you, though, I'm 40. At this very moment, mid-December, I don't know when this will actually come out.
I'm hoping the beginning of January.
Yes, but mid-December, I have a 22-year-old. He's out in California. He's in the Air Force.
Nice.
My daughter, she's about to be 21.
Okay.
My youngest, he's 18.
My youngest is 12.
And I just got a message that the due date for the new one is in 3 weeks.
Shut up. Congratulations.
So I was done.
Well, you were until you weren't.
Yes.
I've heard, though, because everyone always asks me and my husband if we're going to have another one. And I would not be sad if it happened. But I'm like, I'm ready to travel. I'm ready to do the things that people do once their kids are raised, And I've been toying around with the idea, and this is kind of like my grief journey. All of our listeners kind of know about it, but I've been writing down my kind of life story. And when I go back and read it, I'm like, whoa, I have lived a life at 40. I have lived a life. So you're just adding another page to that story.
Exactly. And
I love it.
And the worst part is, I have a grandson.
Dude, they're gonna grow up together.
Yes. So
well, that'll be nice though.
So his aunt, because she's a girl,
yeah,
a girl,
okay,
will be younger than him.
I grew up with kids that always had that situation, and they'd be like, "Oh, my nephew, this and da 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 da," and I'm like, "But he's 20 years older than you. What? How does that? And it was this big tangle, and I never understood it until I got older, and I was like, oh, I'm like, now it all makes sense. But back when you were a kid, you were like, that's stupid. You're making that up.
Don't understand. But I'm like, okay.
Yeah, this is where we're at in life. This is what we're doing. I love that. Well, congratulations. That's so fun. Maybe you'll get another story out of it. A new perspective.
I've got an idea.
I love it. I love it.
But my wife won't like it, because it's needless to say, everybody's familiar how the alien works.
Right, right.
Well, what if that baby just decides to eat?
I love it. 100%. That will be awesome. That will be real. I can't wait for that one now. You've got me on pins and needles. Which, by the way, listeners, he brought me all of his books. So if I don't have a show for a while, I'm busy reading. So I'm excited about that. Well, let's talk about the creative process and walk us through the origins of how you got into these books. We can do them one at a time, and you can lead the way.
All right, yeah. We'll start with the first book. It's The Little Lady in Flesh. It actually starts at the end, not the beginning. Whenever I was starting the process of writing it, I wrote the end first. That's what I like to do.
Very interesting.
Because you always hear, so you're a reader.
Yes.
Would you say you're an avid reader?
I used to be. Not like I would like to be anymore. I don't have the time like I used to. I used to be a stay-at-home mom and had all the time in the world.
I'll tell you, it goes in like a roller coaster. Sometimes you're avid, sometimes you're not.
Okay.
It's
I feel like I've fallen off. I have a really good friend that, not to get off subject here, which it's not really off subject, but she does this monthly book club, and she's like, "Girl, you need to join the book club." And I'm like, I can't handle one more thing a month that I've got to be at from 7 to 9 p.m. on a Thursday. I'm like, I can't do it. I want to read, and I've been doing little bits here and there, but I've really been trying to see what it looks like writing down my story. So I've been doing that more than I've been reading. Yeah. So
which I will say, reading helps.
Okay.
It really does.
I need to make myself get back in.
Not as far as oh, that's a good idea, I want to use that. No, it's their own process. My big thing was I like Stephen King.
Yeah,
my son does too. Anybody who likes horror, who doesn't? Mm-hmm. Individually, no, I don't like the dude. Writing? Yes. I like his
Yes.
writing.
He's a creative genius.
Very, yes. I remember watching something one time. He likes to start in the middle of his books.
Oh, okay.
And that's why he can come out with them like almost a book a month, it seems like.
Right.
It's crazy to me.
It really is.
But I like at the end, I'm like, okay, just like with Lady in Flesh, okay, it didn't, the main character in it her name is Winona.
Okay.
When it starts out, she's a Native American healer in the 1600s in southern Appalachia. By the end of it, that's what I already had written. She is the Lady in Flesh.
Okay.
I will go ahead and tell you, you can see it from the cover. She's not a nice lady.
Yeah.
She is not.
Right.
Okay, but but when I had the idea of her, I was like, I wanted Winona to feel real.
Yeah.
Not mythic right away. So I grounded her in history. So that's where I went back to, well, how did she get here? How did she get these ideas? Well, she came from, okay, well, here's a good idea, because growing up where I did in Princeton,
right.
It was called Lily Grove, where I was at, and there's Indian burial ground. And we used to camp there when I was a little kid.
That's cool.
And no, it's not.
Oh, I think it is. I think it's super cool.
It was so wrong. But we was kids, we didn't know.
Just like me breaking into graveyards when I was in high school. Yeah, absolutely.
So what I did, I started doing a lot of research, which granted, my family line, there's some Native American stuff in there. And I remember as a kid, my aunt, she used to take us to powwows.
Okay.
So I got a little experience
Super
with that.
cool,
And
yeah.
those are so cool.
They really are. My sister-in-law was dating a gentleman whose family is very rooted still to this day. And I didn't realize that people are so active still.
Oh, yeah.
And their headdresses, the stuff. And they do it just obviously they're not killing buffalo, no. But they still are painting the leather, burning the leather,
yes.
Making these beautiful works of art to wear. And it's just, it's amazing.
And just the atmosphere.
Yes.
And I was going to say, if you haven't been, go.
I would love to. I told her, I was like, I'm so jealous. I was like, I want to just be a fly on the wall.
Yeah, but like I was saying, I grounded her in the history of a Native American healer.
Okay.
I went and did a lot of research because I wanted to keep it accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Not just how modern world and entertainment, glorifies it all. Makes
how
it all
they
romantic.
perceive it, yeah.
No, that time frame, no, it was not romantic. It
right.
was not pretty.
Mm-mm.
These young people, whenever they wanted to become a healer, which they wanted to do this, they would literally strip them down and make them go out on their own. And they would have to they would fast, they would starve. A lot of them would die just from exposure.
Just navigating survival.
And luckily now we know what happened to their bodies.
Right.
We know what their bodies went through from the dehydration, from the exhaustion. They would hallucinate and they would come up with these, wow, I'm magical now.
Yes.
And that's what I went through on that, trying to do this, and that's where I found actual Winona. She was an actual Lenape healer in the 1600s. So cool. And then the Lenape tribe that would wander through southern West Virginia. And that's not a well-known Indian group.
Right.
Of the Lenape. Normally when you think all Cherokee.
Right, the typical.
Yeah, the typical ones. This one was a minor sect, and they were savage. They was truly savage.
Yeah.
There was during the Protestant times, before Princeton was actually formed and all that good stuff, the little villages, one was called New Prosperity. This is also in the book.
Okay.
And where the Lenape
I'm so excited
would go
to read
into
this
the Puritan colony, and they would kidnap people.
Yeah.
And they would sacrifice them on the grounds where Concord sits today.
Yeah.
And
that's
sadly, it is actually true. And it's in there.
Oh, I believe it 100%.
And doing the research of it all, I found the actual writings from the Puritan
that's neat.
preacher. I'm not sure, I can't remember what they was actually called off the top of my head, but his name was Wren, W-R-E-N.
Okay.
He plays a role.
I know a Wren. That's so funny. Yeah, spelled exactly the same way.
Yeah. Oh, it was fascinating. It was one of those things. I grew up in that area. I didn't know. But then reading about it,
you just dive so deep and get so wrapped up in your community's history. So I get that 100%.
The history of Mercer County and Princeton alone, it was shocking to me. I was surprised.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people, especially down there, we knew Civil War time, Princeton burnt.
Right.
It got burned down. Mm-hmm. And it got rebuilt, but then also we know during the Great Depression times,
right,
it was rough. Mm-hmm. But also it was the coalfields area, so it was rough, but it wasn't.
Right.
Yeah. But then moving on, with that, where she ends up, doing all this stuff at Concord grounds, and just building onto that. With that, I threw in my spin of, okay, well, instead of her having these hallucinations, let's make those hallucinations real.
Ooh.
And sadly, I went into, because of my past, I have some trauma in my life to where I've seen some stuff you shouldn't see. I've, partaked in things that terrified me.
100%
So I get some pretty vivid dreams. So I said, well, let's pull one of my nightmares.
Put them on paper.
Let's put it on paper. And that's where my other world comes into play, the shadow realm. That's what I call it.
Awesome.
And that's where the monsters come from. That's where the evil entities come from. And it's
I love that as humans, we find these ways to navigate our trauma. And I love how you have spun yours to be this creative process for you.
And I think that's why I like horror so much. Because, you have all these other genres. You got the fantasy, you got the romance, you got the freaky romance. Yeah. When you sit and read that in the real world, you're trying to picture it into the real world, you can automatically say, man, that's bullshit.
Yeah, that's so dumb.
Just like the
not keeping my interest.
The awesome Hallmark videos.
Right.
Where the one girl comes back to visit her grandma and the boyfriend
falls in love
and throws away this
gets a
$6-figure
$1 million farm that she didn't know that existed and all,
So it's like, okay, yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
But then whenever you're looking into horror, think of the last scary movie you watched. What was it?
Oh, I can't even think. I think my daughter and I, because I love scary movies as well. I'm not a big, huge into them, but if I sat down to watch a movie, I want to watch a psychological thriller is my thing. So we sat down and we watched, what did we watch? Oh my God, The Red Rum.
The Shining.
Shining. Why could I not think of that? But that was the last one that I think I watched.
Okay, so you went into it, you knew bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still.
Oh,
there's some still.
110%.
I feel horror is more truthful than storytelling because it brings out your emotion, your true emotion, even if it is a psychological. Even if it is psychological, even if it is the jump scare stuff, or just the stuff that you're looking at, going, oh, that is just nasty, like the Terrifier.
Yes,
that's some nasty shit.
See, I've never seen that, and I don't know that I want to.
Dude, it's worth it.
Is it worth it? Okay.
Don't just remember the first movies was independent made.
Okay,
but they're still good.
I was going to say one of my favorite horror movies when Blockbusters were shutting down. Our local one was shutting down. You could go in and buy VHSs and DVDs for $1, 50 cents, whatever. So there was this local section. He was my boyfriend at the time, husband now. We were like, let's just watch all these local horror movies. So turns out, it was so funny, this movie, and it's so bad. There's this line that we still all the time use in our day-to-day life. They're running from the killer, and the obvious thing is get in the car and drive away and never come back. But they always run back into the house. That's just how it goes. So one of the actors, and I can't think of the name of this movie. It's a 3-part movie. There's 3 movies or VHSs that came with it. And he's like, get in the 4x4. We need to go. And it's so bad, but they are our favorite. If you haven't seen it, come over. We're having a movie night. Yeah, they're the best. 100%. And it turned out that the kids were actually from across the river over here in Chesapeake, Ohio. And it was their senior project. They made this movie, but on a VHS, it was 3 long because they couldn't fit it all. So it's so funny. But yeah, we love that.
Oh, yeah. But just what I'm saying, you look back on the horror ones, it's bullshit.
Yes.
It's fake. But also it brings out that real emotion. Mm-hmm. You're sitting down and you're watching a true scary movie. Whether you're a psychopath and watching it alone, I do that.
Probably.
But,
guilty.
But then after you do, what do? After you finish that movie, or you finish hearing that story, that horror story, what do?
what if that really happened?
You sit and you think, well, what if?
Yeah.
But with these other like genres, yes, there's some good ones. There's some great ones. They're not my cup of tea, but they're good, Steve.
Right.
I don't feel you really think that.
And you don't, like if you sit down and watch like for old school sake, a Steven Seagal movie, that shit's never happening. That kind of action, like that kind of, so you don't even, you turn it off and you're done.
Exactly.
You're not dwelling on it.
No, you don't. And then you ain't got to deal with Steven Seagal giving you that weird look.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry. This is off topic again.
You're fine.
My favorite Steven Seagal movie was called Executive Decision.
I've never seen it.
He died 2 minutes in.
Oh. Well, there you go.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Yes. Okay, back to the creative process.
Yes.
All right, so with the process, like with Room 316, I had already set the tone and the lore with The Lady in Flesh.
Right.
I built the world. So I thought with 316, that's what I call. I don't go Room 316. I always shorten my own titles when I'm talking about them.
Gotcha.
So just my own process.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I wanted to see what that ancient wound that is open from The Lady in Flesh would look like in the modern world.
Ooh.
Concord University, Sarvey Hall, and the real stories from Room 316 gave the perfect setting. I've already have the real world. There it is.
Yeah.
I've been there.
It exists, yes.
This is where the folklore becomes psychological. Anxiety, isolation, the fear of being alone in unfamiliar spaces. It's less about spectacle and more about slow dread. Mm-hmm. Like, out of my book so far, it's the shortest. It is novella. Okay. It's under 120 pages. Okay. But I think it's the one that really puts it into modern terms and modern.
Right.
What's wrong with him?
I love it. I love it so much. I wish I would have brought my son on today. Like, he would have been like right here, like full attention, right in it. He's going to be fighting me for these books, I'm sure.
I got plenty more. And then I break it down to the third book in the series, Blood of Song. This one was actually the hardest for me to write. It was emotionally hard for me. The lead character, I'll go and say, in this book series, it's not Winona. It's not some of the girls you meet. It's Stephen Kent. You'll meet him in the book. Okay. And I gave him, that's my hardest part, is figuring out names in these books. Yeah. And these stories. What kind of name should this person have?
Right. Well, because a name carries so much weight.
It does. And it's
so much weight.
It carries personality too. Mm-hmm. Just like if you're sitting down at a restaurant, you can look, oh, that's a Justin. That looks like a Justin.
Yes.
Oh, that's a Karen.
Yes, 100%.
I hate to say it like that, but that's how we are as humans.
Absolutely.
We are very observant.
Yes.
And we break it down by name. So my namesake in it, his name is Stephen Kent. And anybody who knows my past knows that name actually means something to me. Okay. I won't go into too much detail because I know the people that know that name, whenever they find out what actually becomes with Stephen, they're really going to get pissed.
Right, okay.
All right, but this is where everything collides. The ancient mythology, the modern consequence, and the characters who's escaped from them. It pushes me to write honestly and vulnerably, with faith, identity, sacrifice, without hiding behind the atmosphere. The atmosphere alone is big in Blood of Song. It is the true catalyst. When I was initially writing it, I didn't plan on having any more after it. Oh, okay. However, how it ended, I got to keep going. Okay. With that series.
Gotcha.
It's where the Shadow Realm fully reveals itself. And how it reveals itself, I use kind of modern scares, especially with schools and universities. In your own mind, what is one of the scariest things that happens at a school nowadays?
School shootings.
Okay. Well, what if instead of shooting, what if it was this terror or this other realm where these monsters that like to eat and kill people decides to open up?
I like it.
And because, we're West Virginia. Fun fact, West Virginia had a school shooting back in 94. Do you remember where that was?
I do not.
That was Princeton.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people don't know that.
I knew that there was one, but I didn't know where.
It was in my backyard.
Oh, wow.
But this is before it was mainstream news and knowledge and all that stuff, But, and I did the research on it because I was still in school when this happened. I was in junior high when that happened. Mm-hmm. So I remember what we did. We didn't give a shit because we was, we didn't know any better.
Yep.
And I was thinking, well, what would the response be? Well, me being in law enforcement, I know what our response would be here in West Virginia. Law enforcement here, we are very tight-knit. We don't care what agency you're with, what county. We may even have problems with each other, but if one of us asks for help,
absolutely.
Oh my gosh, it's
yes.
A prime good example was 2018, 19, Bluefield, Virginia. It's the sister city to Bluefield West.
Yes.
They had a police officer that got shot.
Okay.
And it happened right on the state border. And they put out that call that no officer wants to hear. I was a deputy at the time. I was all the way on the other side of Mercer County. Mercer County is big.
It is.
It is really big. It's one of those, you don't realize how big it is until you try to drive it.
Yes.
And by the time I got over to Bluefield, we had officers from Beckley, Kanawha, Huntington. I saw cruisers from all over the place.
I believe it.
Look for this guy.
It's family, yeah. You guys come together.
It made me feel good. And even 100%. The community in Bluefield's pretty rough area, but their community.
Yes.
And they said this happened to one of our guys, and it was crazy. We had people, local citizens, going door to door with us trying to find this guy.
Oh, wow.
It was one of those, I said,
how times have changed.
Yes. I was like, what is this y'all hate me.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. High five. And
yeah.
That was that.
Love this.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so that's what I thought about. Well, what would happen? When these things burst through. And I was like, it's going to be chaos.
Oh, yeah.
And it's brutal chaos. And I don't hold back. And
I know what I'm doing on Christmas break now. I'm like diving into these books. I'm so excited.
And I expect a text from you either saying,
yes.
What is wrong with you? How could you? You remember the movie Misery, or the book where
yes.
where, if you want to break ankles, it's fine. Okay. Now my last book that I've got out so far, Echoes in the Stone. It's it's a pull away from my series, so I wanted to change up a little bit.
Right.
This one I'm using, again, actual West Virginia history and characters. Like, are you familiar with who Dr. Walter Freeman is?
I am not.
Okay. You familiar with the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum?
I am, yes. Okay, so I was just forgetting the name of the gentleman, but yes, okay.
Yeah, okay. He is the lobotomist. Back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, this man was on top of the world. He was a scientific breakthrough that figured out the lobotomy, where they would stick the ice pick in your tear duct and decide to hit it with a hammer and either make you pleasant or dead, or just completely mess you up.
Yep, one way or the other. You probably weren't leaving the asylum.
No. Okay, I want to explore that idea, and that the idea of this building, with him, and it's not just haunted. There's a reason it's haunted, and why? Well, maybe something's still there. Hunting.
Yeah.
So I built on a West Virginia folklore, one of our cryptids.
Yeah.
Okay, do you know what our cryptids are?
I know a few of them.
Okay, don't count Mothman. He don't count.
He doesn't count.
Side. This is y'all side.
Okay.
This is more central West Virginia. Okay, there's plenty. I was shocked as how many there
I was going to say, I didn't know that there was like quite a few. I just thought there was just a couple.
I looked at it and I said, holy, what?
Yeah.
Okay, but this one, now, without spoiling too much, I'm not going to name the creature, but if somebody does their own little research, they have to constantly eat, they never get full, and they never die.
Oh, okay.
I will say there's been a couple movies with these creatures in it, but it's not your typical types.
Okay.
Okay. And I got Bill into it, what if Freeman was actually one of these creatures?
Oh, what a spin, yeah.
The real Freeman, he died in 1992. I incorporate that in the book. But one of the characters point out that his body died.
Well,
There's more to than just the body.
I feel like people think I'm crazy when I talk about this stuff, and not to get off subject, but I've talked about it on the podcast before. I lived in the Frederick Building here in downtown Huntington. My in-laws own it, and the history that place has, you can't live there and not start to question what you do and don't believe anymore.
Exactly. God, That's another thing I look about the horror stuff. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, afterlife or not, even if you
Still
don't,
makes those gears
you
turn.
still sit going, stop. Just
Yes.
stop. I'm going to go drink now.
I mean, there are experiences that I had living in the Frederick that you had to be there to believe it. And then it almost makes you question, and I never did drugs, but like, did I? And I don't remember it because how the hell did that happen? Like, how is this real life, you know?
Exactly.
It's wild.
It's fascinating to me. That's why I really enjoy it.
Yes, I do too. And I always have, but no one else in my family ever did. So like literally it took until like living on my own, which was quite early being a teen mom, before I got like really into it, because living in a house with 5 other children, you didn't have the free reign to watch the TV, and, you know, we didn't have internet like we do now. I mean, we had like AOL dial up, but it wasn't like what we have now. We didn't have Reddit. We didn't have subs. We didn't have like all these places that your mind can get lost in like we do now.
Oh, no.
But my curiosity was piqued very early on, to the point to where, like I said, we were breaking into, and it wasn't like a Halloween thing. We weren't like trying to break in and do like seances, but like I became like obsessed with hearing these stories about different monuments and the family curses and all these things that came along with these people. And I'm like, I have to go there. Like, I have to see the final resting place. Like, I don't know what it is about that, but like, it's like, I have to be there. Like, I have to experience that. And you don't want to do it in the middle of the day because you don't want to offend families and making you got to go in the middle of the night when the gates are locked and it's, you know, the sun is down.
If nighttime you think, well, I'm not supposed to be here. So
Yes, it makes it better. 100%. 100%. All right. When you are blending your folklore and your cosmic mythology, what does the writing process look like for you?
Yeah, it's still evolving.
Okay.
It's always started at the end. That's set in stone for me right now. That's what I like to do.
That's what works for you, yeah.
That's what works. You know, I don't write linearly. I chase the emotional core. Then I build backward and outward to it. As ideas forms, I take notes constantly as I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So while I was working on Echoes in the Stone, I would be sitting there at my desk typing.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, I'm thinking, oh, what if this character that's in this whole other series does this? And then I go to, I got smart. I have one screen and I have another screen.
I have two, yes.
This screen I'm actively working on. Because I don't know if you're like me or not, because growing up in the early 90s or late 80s, my handwriting is atrocious. I can't even.
Mine has gotten better as a professional because it needed to be better. Yes. But before that, so doctor's handwriting is what I call it.
Oh, yeah. I've tried to handwrite my notes to it, so I'll just rather type it.
Yes.
So I'll spin over and type that idea. Then I'll come back over and get back to what I'm doing.
Right. Yeah, because you'll lose it if you don't. Like, I'm ADHD as all get out, and I have to write everything down or type it out, or I put notes in my phone. Notes in my phone is like, it's a crazy place. Whenever I die, when people get in there, they're going to be like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah. I've got, yes. That's one thing I do love about our modern technology.
Yes.
The notes in my phone, just like yours. Bad part is I got a Christmas list in there from what I bought for people many years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to delete some as well.
Oh, yeah.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, but, back to this, my process with blending the folklore and with the everything, it comes from that belief system and tradition. Cosmic elements come in when history and psychological can't explain it.
Yes.
As a society and as a people right now, we think we're pretty smart. We have a bunch of this stuff. However, go back 200 years, those people thought they was very smart too.
Yeah.
That we have things now that explain things that they didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say in 200 years people's going to have stuff that makes us look like
absolutely. I think about that all the time.
And
yeah.
I'm happy for that.
Yes. Without growth, like, where would the world be?
Exactly.
So which book pushed you the most as a writer, do you feel like?
Blood of Song.
Okay. You said it like no hesitation.
No hesitation. It's without question. It demanded restraint. I'll go ahead and say it's the first book that I ever wrote where I guess something catastrophic really happens.
Okay.
And I pulled from reality what really happens. And there's some scenes in there I really don't want to say too loudly.
Okay.
Because it will spoil it.
Yeah.
But also it'll take away, I feel. Because whenever you're reading, you have your own picture of what this looks like.
Right.
That's why I think movies that are made out of books, they're good and stuff, but
they never compare to the book.
They never live up to it.
They never do.
Even the good ones.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Like, man, that was a great movie. It still didn't stand up.
Yeah, still wasn't.
Great
Yeah,
on its own.
100%.
So when somebody reads it and they get to it, and if they've listened to this and they read that and they see it, they'll picture. You can pick it out 100% of like, oh, that was hard.
Yeah.
How did he do that?
Okay.
A lot of whiskey. And then looking at my wife, Kiara, granted, she's a little bit younger than me. A lot of bit younger.
Lucky you.
Yeah. So I'd have her read it. I was like, hey, is this okay? You sure you want your kids to read that? If that gives you a hint.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember, I'm a family guy.
Yeah, that's so funny. I think though, like with that creative process, like you there's something in you that comes out that you hesitate to share, but at the same time you're so proud to share.
Yes. Basically how it goes with it is I believe myself to be a gentleman. I'll open the door for my wife. I'll let her go through first. If another random woman decides that she's falling too closely behind us and
right.
through the door, I'll hold it for her too. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. That type of thing. And with the third book, that's where it kind of it made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But also I felt like that was growth.
Yeah.
In my part with the writing, with telling those stories, to
yes.
be able to.
It's so hard to remove yourself, like
is.
your actual true self.
Yes.
I could see that.
Because I still feel as the older generations do, because that's how I was raised.
Mm-hmm.
You don't meet with another woman by herself.
Right. 100%.
You don't talk about certain subjects with another woman. You don't, or with children.
Right.
You don't let your kids see you talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
Which, unluckily for my kids, they grew up in the lifestyle of being children of a cop.
Right. So they know things, whether or not
they've seen
you wanted them to.
Yes. Yeah. And that's just part of the life, which I'm kind of grateful for, because they get to see how the real world is. But also they just shouldn't see that stuff.
Right. I get it. I kind of pride myself on, because I grew up with a lot of trauma. You'd shared that you gone through a lot of trauma. My grandmother raised me, and recently I lost my mom, and we had a very, I don't even know the words for it, honestly, but we had a very strained relationship as adults, because as you get older as an adult, you start questioning things from an adult point of view rather than a child's. So we had a very difficult relationship. So that's been really hard losing her. But that trauma, and my husband grew up, not to say that he didn't have things that he feels like are trauma, but nothing compared to the life that I lived as a child. And I'll go out of my way to make sure that my children have no clue what that side of life was like for me and things like that. And he's like, I mean, it's a part of who you are. And I'm like, but they don't have to experience that. So why should they?
Exactly.
100. Like I'll die on that mountain.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
It goes back to the nice old saying, you want for your kids what you didn't have.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
As a parent, I think that should be the main goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you want to teach them how to do this, how to do that, but also you want to show them better than you did.
Yeah, when I lost my mom, I remember this very vivid moment of just being in the room, and everybody's sorry, and oh my gosh, she was wonderful, and she was all these things, and this was just a couple years ago, so I was approaching 40, and I just remember my anxiety, like I had a panic attack is what happened. I mean, I didn't know in the moment what was happening, but I just knew I needed to get outside where I could breathe. And I got out to the parking lot, and I just screamed at the top of my lungs and just let out this breath. And I was just like, okay, both can be true. She can be this amazing human to all of these people, but she can also be the person that I felt, and I don't feel that way anymore after a couple years of therapy and stuff like that, but she can also be this woman who turned her back on me and wasn't there for me for like the things that moms need to be there for their daughter for, and things like that. Because my grandmother was so old school that she was backwards in the way that she taught me because she was going by the way she was raised. So I'm jumping a generation of how I was raised completely. And, it's enlightening as a parent to be able to have the option to guard them in the way that we are able to. Yes. I love that.
But then this is going to sound kind of fourth wall breaking type thing, but you also got to look at what if shielding them from these type of traumas.
I battle with that a lot.
Doesn't actually help them grow.
Yes.
Makes them more curious of those bad
I
traumas.
think that's the reason I started writing again. Like, because I wrote a lot when I was in school, and I was never, like, I won little contests here and there, but I didn't look at myself as a writer. I by no means looked at myself that way.
I still don't see myself.
Exactly. So, like, I started writing, and I told my therapist, she was like, would you like to read it to me? And I said, I don't think I want to read it to anybody. I just want that history to be there so that maybe one day when my kids are like, I wonder why mom did that, they're going to have the answers because I have it written down. Because I don't have those answers. I can't ask my mom anymore. I can't ask my grandma because she's gone too, And it's weird getting older and losing people. And I think that's the beautiful thing about writing. And I'm so glad that you do take pieces of real history and put in your books, because if that stuff's not written down, we lose it.
Prime example, let's go back to history again.
Yeah.
Let's look at the Vikings. Their culture and mindset, looking at it from now's perspective, always cool, especially the show Vikings.
Oh
my
yeah.
Gosh, I'm sorry. That's awesome.
Yes.
Great. But we don't really know.
Right.
But it's because it was word of mouth, just like with Native Americans. We know what's been told.
Right.
And just like the game we played in elementary school.
Just like telephone.
How much has it changed?
Yeah.
Or how much does it, because of the society we're in now, gets covered up because they don't want to hurt somebody's feelings?
Right. And, not to get too controversial, but I feel, and I don't know where you stand, so I'm not trying to be controversial with you either, but I feel that way when we have people battling in the world about what's right, what's wrong, and they want to throw the Bible up. Well, my thing is about religion. If all of these things are true, if God exists and all that, and again, I'm not saying I believe one way or the other, how are we to know that the people who sat down and wrote those books even had firsthand knowledge of the things that they were speaking on? Because they could be like Joe Blow from down the road that was like, oh, I'm going to put this on paper, and who cares what everyone else's opinions are or what really happened. But here's my narration of what happened, So
Exactly. We're at that time of stage, I feel now, where we ask those questions.
Right.
And those questions need to be asked. Can they be answered? No. We
No.
know that. Will they be answered? No. But it's still good to ask.
I tell my sister that all the time because she was going back and forth, and again, we're kind of getting off subject, but she was going back and forth with religion, like, and major differences. She was going from Islam to Baptist because we were raised Southern Baptist, and I'm like, what a leap,
Yeah, that's a big leap.
what a huge leap. And she read the Quran front to back. I think she said twice, and she still to this day, like, she believes that it's a very beautiful piece of work. She loves the Quran, but she's coming back to her Southern Baptist roots after experiencing that life and realizing what we already knew when she went down that road. But it's like, I told her, if all these things are true, and again, not saying one way or the other that I feel, and I kept it that way because I wasn't trying to push my beliefs on her, why can't we just be good people? And that's enough. And that's what I teach my children.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be good people.
Oh, yeah. That's the main thing. It's just like I was raised Baptist like you. When I tell myself, when I was in the Army, when I was in boot camp, during Sunday, they let you go to whichever church service you decide to go to. So when I was in boot camp, I was Baptist, Catholic. I went to all of it.
Well, it's intriguing. Religion is very intriguing.
It is, but at that time, I was I was raised Baptist. My grandfather, he actually built a church in Lily Grove.
Okay.
And he actually went on the radio singing songs and all kinds of nice
That's
stuff.
super cool, yeah.
But while I was in boot camp, I befriended a guy named Benitez. He was from Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Awesome dude. So anybody that's ever been to boot camp, you ever talk to during, especially that time period in boot camp, it was kind of like jail. It was rough. It was rough. They didn't hit. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But we got to the point where there's a lot of more downtime than people talk about in boot camp. And we wanted to play chess. So we made a chess set.
Oh,
out of
cool.
paper
Yeah.
and sitting and talking and stuff. So that's the thing. But he was from Puerto Rico, big time Catholic.
Uh-huh.
And I started going, so I transitioned to Catholicism. I did the whole 9 yards.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole
That was a big
freak
jump.
of his own, yeah.
You know, so that's what was on my dog tags. That was what I was. And I remember I came back home, and my grandmother, she's big time, grew up in the 60s and 70s. So, you know, that's
right.
very part of her culture of being a Baptist. I remember I told her, she says, well, I'm just happy you're in something. I said, okay, cool. Then fast forward, I think this is about 2012 or 13, my daughter Amaya, she's just starting her teenage thing. And she's starting to question that whole religion and all that stuff. And this is one of those things that really made me think. And I think it kind of also helped with my writing. She said, Dad, is there? And I was just sitting there going, it's like, well, Maya, I believe there is, yes.
Yeah.
Am I going to tell you what to believe? No.
Exactly.
And she's like, and this is when, if you remember, this is when the first Marvel movies really started getting big. And she's like, well, Dad, you've got a bunch of these magazines and books and stuff that's got Spider-Man in it. And I said, yeah. Who's to say 2,000 years from now somebody finds that and don't think that we're worshiping him?
Oh.
And she was, I think, 10, 11
How
years old.
How profound
and
from
I
a
sat
child.
back in my recliner and I said, stop it. I said, Maya, I don't know.
Yeah. Like, I don't have the answer for you.
Wow. But I said, as a parent, I was happy. I was proud because she's questioning.
Absolutely.
She's wanting to get answers. And at the same time, it made me and think.
Right. I love when I worked with youth a lot when I was working in prevention, and there's nothing I love more than kids questioning authority, religion, like anything that they could question. Yeah. Let's talk about it.
And how she did it, especially at a young age, which shocked me.
Yes.
Not a bad shock, but one of those of, she's got a head on her shoulder.
Yeah. Job well done, Dad. Yeah. Absolutely. You're welcome. I love that. I love that so much. Let's talk a little bit about how you blend, the history, the trauma, the myth making. What does that intersection look like in West Virginia for you?
West Virginia, history and trauma are tightly woven.
Yes.
Very tightly woven. But it's really spoken about directly. A lot of people here lived through institutional abuse, dangerous labor, especially back in the early days, loss, neglect. It didn't come with language or closure. So instead of being documented, it was absorbed by myth and became carried through the voice of folklore, of tales. You see it in places people avoid. It's stories that gets passed down and warnings instead of explanations. Myth isn't fantasy. It's how trauma survives when history isn't written down or acknowledged.
I like that.
The intersection is where stories live. And, going back on that, with our area with the, institutional abuse, the Battle of Blair Mountain.
Yeah.
When the state police got founded. Dangerous laborers. Look at McDowell County.
Yes.
Nothing bad about anybody in McDowell. Y'all are some awesome people.
Absolutely.
They're, but you already know, if somebody says, I'm from the county. That's all you got to say.
Yep.
One, they're tough as nails. But they're also very family oriented.
Very.
Which is awesome. Then the neglect. Have you ever been to Odd?
I have not.
Have you heard of Odd?
I have. And it's a random way that I have, but our modern technology will speak for it because a friend of mine had posted a Snapchat, and you know how it puts like where you're at, and I was like, where the hell is that? I've never heard of that.
Okay, well, that's in Raleigh County and the Mercer County border. So needless to say, occasionally, working in Mercer County, we'd end up in Odd also.
Right, okay.
But it's one of those places you got to get lost to get there. And but it's pretty barren. And it's rough. You can see neglect. You can see the loss. But also you can see the true Appalachian
grit
style. Because there would be a dad sitting on a porch, a dirt porch, wearing a white tank top, wife beater shirt, cut off jeans, literally cut off jeans.
Right.
With his beer gut hanging out with his finger in his belly button.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
And it's just you're looking going, well, he's content.
Yeah.
And then sitting next to him is a cute little 4 or 5 year old little girl, dirty as all get out.
Living her best life.
Having the best time. But I guarantee you that little 4-year-old knows how to do crops and how to take care of herself.
Yep.
And it's just, you got that loss, you got that neglect, but also you got that grit.
Yeah, we always said in the prevention world that West Virginia specifically, we're 100 years behind in most of the areas of our state.
Easily.
Like 98% of our state, we're still very behind, and you can still step into communities just like Odd, just like you said, and you will see that.
Oh, you do.
This is still a way of life for many people in our state.
Yeah, exactly.
Or all of Appalachia, for that matter.
Oh yeah, because you got to, just like sadly the people in Ohio, they don't understand how the highway works. They don't know how to get out of the left lane.
Yes, the left lane loafers is what I call them.
Yes, Ohio.
That's my nice way of yelling obscenities on the interstate or highway when I'm in Ohio. I'm like, you left lane loafers.
Well, fun fact: Virginians, where we're from, they're like that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't drive there a lot, but good to know.
Yeah.
I love that. Why do you think that Appalachian horror feels different from other types of horror?
Appalachian horror is personal. It's slow, just like our how we talk. I understand I have a twang.
Oh, it took me a long time. So I'm originally from Georgia, and when I got here to go to school in third grade, I would spell and write the way that I spoke. So it was talk and, I had to go through speech therapy, 2.5 years of speech therapy for people to understand me.
Oh, yeah.
So I've worked really hard to sound like the nutcase that I do today.
Exactly, but the tales, they're slow. Just like how pronunciation, how we do things, it's rooted in place. It doesn't come from monsters jumping out. It comes from memory, silence, and things that are never resolved.
Right.
A lot of horror stories tries to scare you. Appalachian horror tries to stay with you. It asks you to sit with discomfort instead of running from it. The fear isn't external, it's inherited. Because we all have those stories of how Grandpa and Grandma used to do things. My granny, that's what I call her, is Granny and Poppy.
My grandma was Granny as well.
Yeah, Granny lived to 110.
Oh, wow.
She was a trooper.
That's amazing.
Yes, and Poppy, he lived to 100.
It's phenomenal. You got good genes, probably. You're going to live a long life.
I don't feel like it. But okay. I don't want to do that. But it's weird because, how, they lived rough.
Yes.
They came into our area where they actually frontiered there. They came in on a covered wagon and built the houses and community in Lily Grove. Granny, she dipped, she drank, she smoked, she cussed. And Poppy was the same way. The only difference was he had a cane, and at the end there, he ended up having a walker, but it was that community mindset. Poppy and Granny found out you did bad, they're going to whoop your ass.
Oh, yeah.
And they did.
Oh, yes. I remember picking out my own switch. People, it's so funny, and I think that's something that I can't relate to a lot of people my age because they weren't raised by their grandparents. So, I say grandparents. My grandfather died before I never got to meet him, but they never picked out their own switches. That's what's wrong with people these days.
Yeah. And you think that little thin thing's going to be even better. No, that's worse.
No. Yeah, I learned that lesson the first time and never made it again.
Oh, yeah. Those little whooping willow trees, I will burn one down today.
Oh, yes. 100%. That's so funny. I love talking about Appalachia. I really do. I love it so much. You mentioned having real experiences around the tri-state. Can we hear one?
You can. All right, I'll have you go back in time a little bit. I'm still a deputy sheriff at Mercer County.
Okay.
I'm working midnight shift with my partner at the time was Deputy Ellison. His name's Jeff. He's awesome. He was actually, before a deputy, he was a game warden or
Cool.
up here in
I always thought that would be
area.
a really cool job. Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like it would. I like nature,
I
but
like being in nature, but I don't want to be paid to be in there.
I guess that's
sounds
true.
like
That would take the fun away from it. I can see that.
But anyway, he is a great guy, and he's very stand-up. But we got a call one night. We go answer the call. It's middle of winter. We get done with the call. We end up going back to the courthouse in Princeton. Now, in the courthouse in Princeton, it's in the center of town, and it's a turnabout.
Okay.
It's one way around it, and that's it. Okay, so after getting the call and coming back, we noticed the courthouse there on the top. There used to be a jail way back in the...
A lot of counties.
A lot of counties. It was a county jail before the regional jail system got created. Well, now they use it for county storage, pretty much to collect me all for whatever you need at the courthouse.
Yep.
And there's only 2 accesses to this. There's an elevator and a stairwell. Both of those are only accessible through the sheriff's department, which is in the basement of the courthouse.
Okay.
Well, we get going, and as we're coming back up to the courthouse, we notice the light at the very top of those steps. You can see it from coming up the hill, and we're going, somebody forgot to turn off that light. And those steps, it's about 8 total flights, and they're the old steps, so they suck.
Yeah,
and
real bad.
And it's dusty, it's metal, it's just, shit.
Not a fun time.
We're like, well, we'll just leave it. We ain't going to worry about it. So as we pull in to park to get out, to go back in the office to fill out some paperwork, we stand out on the sidewalk. We call it the front porch.
Yeah.
And we just start talking because it's better to sit out there than in that musty old jail.
Yeah.
And as we're talking, we notice the light turns off. And we both look up, watching it. Then it turns back on, like within 5 minutes. And we kind of both look at each other. Now, when we both look up,
damn it, we've got to figure out what this is.
Shit, somebody's up there.
Yeah.
And then, lo and behold, right in front of the window, we see a figure walk across the light.
Ugh.
Me and him both said, shit. So
we thought we were done tonight.
we thought we was basically done. It was kind of a slow night, which you're not supposed to say in law enforcement.
Right,
but,
right.
It is what it is. So, shit. Well, we better go up there. So we go full cop mode.
Oh,
we
yeah.
go up steps. Who in the hell's in our house?
Yep.
We get up, and as we're going up, the light turns off again. And those stairs are dark.
Yeah.
And creepy.
I could only imagine.
So we get up to the top, finally, turn the light switch back on, and it's not a loose switch. It's the old, you hear the click.
Hear the click, yeah.
And we go through that whole place, not a soul. Not a thing. Not even, and there's
It's one of those things where you have to be there. You wouldn't believe it.
Yes. So we both get done. We're starting to walk back down. We're making jokes like, well, it's just every courthouse has a ghost story,
Absolutely.
Mercer County was the last hanging county in West Virginia.
Ooh.
So there's some fun knowledge.
I think Huntington was the first.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I was like, maybe I'm making that up, but I'm pretty sure.
But, and as we're going back down, though, granted, it's wintertime. It's cold outside. We have our jackets on. We just ran up 8 flights of steps.
Burning up,
We're wearing our duty gear. And now, this is one of those key things about find you a friend that's a police officer and ask to put on his good duty gear when he's not working. You will appreciate how his back feels.
Yes. It's heavy as can be, just like a firefighter. It's a lot of gear.
It is. And it adds up, especially running up a flight of steps. So we're sweating. We're hot.
Yes.
Then all of a sudden, it gets to where you see your breath coming down the steps. Me and him both. And Jeff's in front of me. He stops. I stop, and I was going, fuck, it got cold. Hurry up. Let's get down there and get the heat.
Yeah.
And he looked up, and when somebody's looking at you, you can tell they're not looking at me. They're looking behind me.
They're looking past me. Yeah.
And so I turn around and we look up, and looking over the damn rail was a face. I
just got chill bumps. Yeah.
Shit. So we didn't do the rational human thing. We did the scary movie thing. What happens to the cops in the scary movies?
Oh, yeah.
We don't make it. There's
exactly.
We go back running up like, well, this fucker was hiding on us.
Uh-huh.
We get up and not a soul. Even where he looked over, there was about an inch of dust.
It
wasn't even touched. So we left. We ended up going back down, got in the cruiser, and we didn't go back to the courthouse that night till the chief deputy at the time, Daryl Bailey. He's passed now, but he was one of the old awesome. Just one of those people you could talk and be like, Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
And
Those are the best.
We tell him the story about what happened. He laughed, and he looked at us.
He's like, it happened to me before.
He's like, oh, that's just Bob. And he just walked away.
That's my Skelly's name, too. That's Bob over there.
And he just walked away. He looked and said, yeah, that's Bob. And we're just going,
no big deal.
Can we get an explanation?
You're right. Exactly. What's the story? Tell me more.
Anytime I try to bring it up to him, he's like, yeah, it's just Bob. Don't worry about it.
Oh, that's crazy. Like, I need more details on Bob. Why is he here harassing us?
And I'm just going, was we just that exhausted? But we both seen it. We both experienced it. But then, again, some of the things Jeff says he sees is, he's one of those, he believes in Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah.
Hope he hears this.
One of those.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Maybe if you spend that much time in the woods, though.
He's from Richlands. So he says he's seen Bigfoot.
That's hilarious. That's so funny. And we are not trying to offend you Bigfoot people. We really aren't. I promise.
No. We all like monster hunters.
So what is the wildest DM or direct message, for those of you that may not know what that is, about sliding into the DMs, that a reader has ever sent you?
Honestly, other than the crazy religious group, there was one that was more meaningful and more kind of humbling. Mm-hmm. Made me kind of, oh wow.
Okay.
It was a reader. He said, "It's wild." Okay. Then what was his? I can't remember. I think his first name was Eric Anderson.
Okay.
He sent me a 2-page message.
Oh wow.
Just out of the blue, it showed up in my, you know how the Instagram came up in that, how it sends, people you don't know into the maybe spam folder.
Right.
And I'm sure you know as well as I do, especially with being creative and having a social, we get all kinds of those.
Oh, all walks of life.
Yeah, that's like, hey, let me help you with this.
Yeah.
All your money.
Exactly.
But he sent me a 2-page message after reading The Lady in Flesh. The message was that he really enjoyed it. It really spoke to him, and he really enjoyed the whole independent author aspect of it, and it sparked something in him to create a YouTube channel.
Oh, cool.
And he did. And he sent me afterwards, he's like, I'm going to do a video of me reviewing. He became a YouTube book reviewer, I guess you would call it.
Okay, yeah.
And it's called the Veiled Archive, is what it's called. And it's still small, it's still growing.
Yeah.
But you sit and watch him doing it, and you can see the passion in his heart and in his face while he's reading these other books.
I can only imagine how this made you feel, because I think that's awesome.
And so his message was, this inspired me to do it this way with this platform, and he asked me permission.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just, it humbled me a little bit.
Absolutely.
I said, this was maybe 3 months after my first book got published.
That's so cool. The timing makes it even better.
It does. It was one, because I was at that point of because as an independent, you got to do everything.
Yeah.
You got to promote. You got to say, hey, like this, please. Hey, and if
you're begging people,
leave me a review. Go ahead. People, I'll go ahead and tell you, reviews on anything is what really pushes it.
Gosh, I say that all the time to my listeners, and I beg on social media. I'm like, listen, if you like what we're doing, just give us a review. You have no idea how much, even if it's it was so. I'm okay with that. Yes. A review is a review.
Yes.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
And that's what we learn from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but how he did that and how he said, it just made me go, wow.
Yeah.
And how he compared my book to H.P. Lovecraft.
Ooh.
I like Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Not the person. The person, he was a pretty shitty guy.
Mm.
But his books were
my son is very. I was going to say I've heard the name, so I'm very aware.
Oh yeah, but it made me just.
I'm not doing this for no reason.
Yeah.
I did this for a reason. It's reaching someone.
Yeah,
and if your work reaches literally one person,
that's it.
It's it.
I'm happy.
Yes.
Fine. I could care. I can 100% say I could care less if I sell a single book.
Right.
As long as somebody reads it, and it either sparks something good or something bad.
Yeah.
I want to tell my stories.
That's how I feel about the podcast. People are always shocked to know that I make absolutely no. I lose money on this because I'm paying for editing, and I could probably figure out editing myself if I had more time, but I can't. So I'm paying somebody to do that, and people just don't seem to realize that your passion outweighs any of that.
Yeah. My writing started as a hobby. Now I think it's an addiction.
I feel like podcast is that was for me.
It's worth it. You know, it's one thing. My oldest, Josiah, he told me this. He said, Dad, rather even if they don't make it, he says, they're published forever.
Yes.
And I'm just going, that's terrifying, but thank you.
Well, it's so cool because, and not to still hone in on the dead mom thing, but I think it would have been so cool to have, because growing up, we didn't have the access to videos and photos and all those things. And my parents, right after high school, had experienced a really bad house fire. So every photo that we had up until that point, gone, Yeah. So I keep in the back of my mind, my kids are going to be able to still hear my laugh. They're going to be able to get a piece of my personality, and it's going to be out there forever.
Yeah, this is like you say, my dad, he passed 4 years ago, and his name was Stephen.
Okay.
So take that little Easter egg.
Okay.
Okay, and yeah, there's a lot of it, something you don't
think about it until it's too late.
So I remember the night he died, that day I went over and visited with him, and it was the typical, hey, you want to go do this for us? Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
And then after he passed, and it hit hard. It hit my mom hard, so I had to do the strong son thing.
Yeah.
I'm
the oldest daughter, so I had to, same boat.
I had to put that face on. Mm-hmm. I think it finally hit, about a year and a half later.
I'm coming up on year 2, and it has probably been harder than the first year.
One of those, it's just, I finally broke down, and at that time, I'd gone through quite a bit with it. Back up a little bit more. I just recently got divorced at that point.
That's another big, life-changing.
It was an 18-year marriage, but it wasn't a bad ending.
There's no good way to divorce. Yeah. Even if it's amicable, there's no good divorce. Cause
it was completely amicable, but yeah, you're right. It's still one
you
of those.
Feel like I let them down.
Yeah.
They let me, like we let each other down.
But, it was kind of bittersweet now, that part of it. Because now I'm remarried, got another kid on the way.
Right.
And Kiara now, she's amazing. She's very pregnant right now. It looks like a big old water balloon.
Yeah.
But then at that time, like I was saying, my dad just died, got divorced, was living in a single efficiency bedroom apartment in Athens.
Been there.
It sucked.
Mm-hmm.
And also at that time, I was just starting my college. I was finished trying to finally.
You had a lot on your plate.
A lot on my plate.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just the push with it.
Yeah.
That's what helped, I think.
I could see that. 100%. And again, not harping on the dead mom thing, but it pushed me to not only try to put my story down on paper, but also I have started writing my children letters, and I send them to an email, and I have everything written down for them to get into this on when I do pass, whatever time that may be, because losing my mom, it was very unexpected. It was very tragic. It was a terrible situation, and there was just so much left unsaid. So I have now made it my personal goal to pay attention more. Not that I didn't pay attention to him before, but pay attention to more of the things that they ask me and the things they're wanting, especially my son being 23 and getting his own place and navigating, learning to cook and things like that. So try to pay more attention to those things and leave them little tidbits. Like if I went to lunch with both of the kids today, I might go home that evening and something's weighing heavy on my mind. So I sit down and I write them a letter and send it to that email, So it's been a learning experience, but also my grief story is like finding that way, And I think writing and the podcast have really been just the push that I needed.
It is. Very much is.
I get it. I get it 100%.
That's why I think in every book, especially nowadays, you see the dedication page in books, and every one of mine is to my kids, to my wife. Because it's one of those, it's one day, I will be gone. Mm-hmm. There's no denying it.
And here's what I'm leaving you. Yeah. I love that. I really do. I think there's beauty in all writing, whether you can relate to it or not. I just think that there's beauty in it. So, anyways, I'll get real emotional if I keep on. Can you or will you explain to me what you think that Appalachia is trying to tell the world through the stories that we tell?
I think Appalachia is trying to tell the world that it's more than what people see from the outside. It's not just poverty, not coal, or stereotypes. It's people who survived hard things and learn how to carry them quietly. Our stories aren't loud, but they're deep. They're in endurance, family loss, faith, and memory. A lot of Appalachian stories are warnings or lessons not meant to entertain, but to protect and to remember, or to explain something that didn't have easy answers. When you really listen to them, they're saying, we're still here. We've always been here. It's it makes me think of when my oldest son first went to California. He's stationed out at Travis Air Force Base.
Okay.
It's close to San Francisco and Sacramento, kind of like right in the middle.
Right.
And I went to go visit him about 2 years ago. And I did the tourist thing.
Right.
We got on an Amtrak, took it over towards San Francisco because I want to go see Alcatraz.
Yes.
I want to see Chinatown. I want to see where
Absolutely.
Little Big China was made.
Yes.
I want to experience that. Well, little did I know, Southern West Virginia country boy that I am, and my son Josiah, we get off the train, but we didn't know this, but we had to take a bus from that train station over the Bay Area to get to where we need to go.
Okay.
We didn't know that. So we get off the Amtrak and we just start walking. We end up in Compton.
Okay. Fun.
No. Jesus Christ. Stunk, nasty, just horrible. Well, we finally get over the bay. We ended up taking the train that goes under the bay.
Oh.
And it's still just, water dripping in. Makes you, anybody that's drove any bridge or tunnel that goes under, you always get those drifts.
Yes.
But it still gives you that butthole fucker of all the
Yes. Like at any moment, this can implode on us.
So we finally get off. We did the tourist thing. Went over to Alcatraz, went to the wharf, went to little Chinatown.
Yeah.
And wow, that was a lot of people. I'm never going that again.
Yeah, I could only imagine.
Yeah, but this goes back on stereotype things.
Yeah.
After we get done, we finally get back on the train, get back over to the Amtrak, take the Amtrak all the way back up to Sacramento to where we parked the car. Because I was not going to drive in that big city.
Right. I hate driving in big cities.
Kiss my ass.
Yeah, it's not for me either.
So fast forward a couple of days, I'm leaving. I go to Sacramento, get on the plane. I did the cheap route. I went Spirit, but I made it. Yeah,
you're alive. You live to tell the tale.
Yes. But as I'm sitting there in Sacramento in the terminal, and I'm quiet, and I don't like to talk to people, and especially if I'm traveling alone.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
But then this older guy started sitting beside me, and he just said, "Hi, how are you?" And I said, "Hey, how are you?" And he heard my accent.
Where are you from?
Yeah, and that's how that started. And then across the way from us, there was this guy wearing flip-flops, short shorts that guys wear nowadays.
Uh-huh.
And you could tell he was just looking at us, and I could see something curling in his brain of something smart-ass to say. Mm-hmm. And the gentleman I was talking to, he was from Virginia. So West Virginia.
Small world, yeah.
Like, oh, cool, yeah. He's like, yeah, he was out there visiting his son, too.
Oh, small world. So very small world.
So we start talking, comicking, cracking jokes with each other, just made an airport friend.
Yeah.
Which was weird, but also it happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this young turd across from us looked over at us. He's like, well, I'm surprised you was able to find the bathroom ways out here. It wasn't out there in the woods. I looked at him, and so when we ended up walking...
He thought he was so funny, too, I bet.
He thought he was funny as shit. And he had that look.
Yeah.
And I looked at him, I was like, people always say that about West Virginia. It's like, but I just came from San Francisco. It's supposed to be the golden area. The fancy. But I said, when we was walking through Chinatown, there was a fucker in the middle of the road shitting in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
And it smelled like death, and it was nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. And it was funny as shit, though. But then the old man lit into him.
Oh, good.
And it was one of those, I said, And I sat back. Oh, old boy went away, walked off.
Oh, yeah.
And it was
Because
just-
they have nothing to say
I was
once. Yeah.
I was like, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
Exactly.
one thing, and I'm sure your listeners will 100% agree with this. As Appalachians, West Virginians, Kentuckians, Ohioans, even the Virginians, sorry asses, we can pick on each other.
Yes, but
pick on each other
nobody
hard.
else is going to pick
No,
on us.
It's just like your sibling.
Mm-hmm.
I will kick my sister until she don't get up again.
Yes.
However, somebody else fucks with her.
Don't even look at her the wrong way,
Yeah, you're
let alone
happy.
kick her.
It was just so nice. It was awesome.
Yeah, I get that.
There's-
And what an unexpected kindness to find in a stranger in the, to have your back.
Yeah, and it was just like, well, thank you. But it really shot through me, his little comment.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, motherfucker, y'all have it. Are you serious?
Right. Like, you're not going to find that here in West Virginia. You're going to find beauty. You're going to find mountains
Yes.
and rivers.
If
And
we see somebody doing that in the middle of the road, they're getting their ass whooped.
yeah, like, you don't act that
We
way.
don't treat them like a dog and rub the nose in it.
Yes, exactly. 100%. That's so funny. It's just funny that people, and I find it's uncultured people
Yes.
that seem to have these opinions
People that's
of
never really
Appalachians.
traveled,
Yes.
never really seen it. It's just, and it goes to show.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's talk about why preserving these traditions is so important to you. I mean, we've touched on it a lot,
Yes.
but I would like to hear your answer.
Because once these stories disappear, part of the people disappear with them. Appalachia has always was based on history through voices, not books, not by writings, but by voices. If we stop telling those stories, especially the uncomfortable ones, we lose more than folklore. We lose understanding. For me, writing is a way to honor where I came from. It's a way to keep those voices alive and remind people that there's value in the quiet, in the old stories, and in the places that others overlook. If we don't tell our own stories, someone else will.
Yes,
And they won't get them right.
you're right. You're right. 100. You're so right. I can't agree anymore. Do your roles overlap in unexpected ways with the different jobs that you do and the stories that you tell?
They overlap more than people might expect. With law enforcement, it puts me in close contact with people on some of their worst days. I always say, whenever I'm training a new officer, my biggest line with them is like, look, yes, you're a police officer. Yes, you can take somebody to jail. However, whenever you're dealing with some of these people, remember, this is their worst day.
Worst day of their life.
They will, depending on this outcome, they will remember you the rest of your life. You're not going to remember them past tomorrow.
Yep.
So how that does it, like, gives a way to a process that without turning it into, like, spectacle with this. They do overlap with law enforcement. It puts us in close contact with people, and sometimes on the worst days. Writing gives me a way of processing that without turning it into spectacle, because I can use what's told to me on a case or something that I witness. I can spin it and turn it into something that's not real.
Yes.
That helps process. I write about how fear looks on people, how silence feels in certain moments, and how trauma lingers after everything else moves on. And that way, writing helps me be a better officer, I feel. And being an officer helps me write more honestly. There's a lot of things, like whenever I'm doing a report, it's always been, it was taught to me as a young officer's life, is if it's not on the narrative, it never happened.
Yep.
And that narrative is what we write.
Yes.
And that comes from that individual officer.
And there's some of y'all out there, no offense,
Oh, no,
but some of them are garbage.
I would
They're
hate to
not
look-
helpful at all.
Oh, yeah, I'd hate to look at one of my old reports when I first started.
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't know what I was doing. None of us did. And I could imagine how I would probably look at it and going, wow, you're an idiot.
Right. And, I was telling you before we started filming or recording, I always say filming, I don't know why. But my audience knows that I'm special. But when I was doing the highway safety stuff, our job, a big part of important part of our job was logging the fatalities in the state of West Virginia. And, you've got to get everything exactly right, because you have to remember that law enforcement, any legal entities, everybody from then on out, they're taking those facts for fact and determining the outcome of what is or is not going to happen to, say, the person that caused the accident, or maybe someone was ejected, maybe one person was not, We even went as far as, there was one case that went unfinished, it just was never closed, because they knew that there was an ejection, but they never found the body, and not to be like morbid, but you can't close that file until because it didn't happen if it's not in that report.
Exactly.
So it's important. It's very important.
I think that's what helps me with the writing, because my biggest thing, whenever I initially started doing it, it would be just like an outline of what I want to do, and then breaking it down into like the details.
Yeah, that's how I write.
And that's a lot harder said than done.
It
Breaking
is.
something down, like sitting in front of me right now is this microphone.
Yeah.
If I could say microphone, what's that coming to mind of you? A microphone. Well, your microphone
They can
is
all.
different than mine.
That's what I was going to say. And then we've got the old school one over there, like a replica. They're all different. So everyone's imagination goes to their own place.
Yeah. Like just in me saying microphone to you, be like, okay, a microphone. But in my mind, I'm thinking, well, yeah, it's got a microphone, but it's got a sticker for the Tri-State time machine on the left-hand side of it.
Yeah.
It's got two knobs parallel to it. You got the connector at the bottom. You got a nice base with the barcode on it.
Yeah.
Although yours has
mine's
a little
sparkly.
disco.
Yeah, mine's got a disco vibe going on.
I feel that's how the roles, how they overlapped and how they make each other better.
Yeah.
From my ability to break down the details of it, from my experience with writing the narratives, with writing those big reports, those important ones that I know that
those details matter.
Yes, they do matter. They are the most important things.
They really are. And sometimes I always I took it a step further in my own mind. I didn't for the work because we weren't allowed to, obviously. But I always pictured those reports whenever I was, transcribing them and doing all that. What would I want if someone's family member got a hold of this? What would that look like? What should that look like in the most respectful way, the most factual way, all those things. So, it matters. So if you don't know anyone that's worked in law enforcement, or you've never worked for like someone like highway safety or anything like that, it's things I didn't know going into that job that was going to be the most important part of my job. And it comes with photos, it comes with all the things. So
that's one of the things that I've always said. Big media gets 100% wrong about our profession.
Yes,
it's one of those. Yeah, there's some excitement. Maybe 5-10% of it. The rest of it is boring, sitting behind a desk, typing or writing, and cataloging and taking pictures and figuring out which there to use during that sentence. Is it there, or there?
Right. I love that. That's so funny. What unique insights does law enforcement give you into human behavior and fear? You've kind of already talked about it a little bit, but I'd like to hear more.
Okay. The biggest thing I've learned is that real fear is quiet. It's not screaming or running. It's hesitation, compliance, avoidance. It's people freezing, minimalizing what they're feeling, and trying to hold themselves together. The kind of fear that is what I write about. It's more unsettling because it's real. You see it in the eyes, in the pauses, in the way someone avoids a doorway or won't sit in the corner room. Law enforcement teaches you to notice those details, and horror lives in those details. Case in point is a lot law enforcement officers' behavior going out to eat. I'm sure you've seen it.
Can't have your back to the door.
Yeah, our backs are never to the door. We tried our best to be the farthest from the door, and we will have clear line of sight to that door, and we will constantly
know where the exits are.
Will be moving that entire time, whether we're on working or not working. My wife, I had to explain this to her because whenever we first went on our first date, whenever we first met, she kept saying, "What are you looking at?" And I'm just going, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I need to explain this to you. You don't know.
Yeah.
And I told her, and she's like, that's silly. Nobody's going to come in here and hurt us. I said, how do you know?
You know, you never know.
And then I gave her a point. I actually went back. I told her a story about what happened. And one of those things, more things happen to police officers when they're off duty than there actually are.
I have heard that, and I've seen some statistics, and I'm just like, it's wild.
About 7-8 years ago, I had a guy come to my house, try to break the door down with a knife, and try to stab me.
Just angry because you had arrested him or something?
No.
Oh.
No.
Just randomly?
Just random. He saw my police cruiser in the driveway, and he said, well, there's my opportunity.
Yep.
And a fight ensued. And luckily, my kids wasn't home yet, but they was on their way home from school.
So middle of the day.
My
Goodness
wife
gracious.
at the time, she had just got home. She got to witness me throwing him off the porch and handcuffing him while I'm wearing my SpongeBob.
That's the best.
That was the best. I actually, because where I lived at the time was 2 blocks away from this courthouse in Princeton.
Yeah.
I walked him wearing no shoes,
That's the
SpongeBob pajamas, pants, no shirt. Walked him the 2 blocks from my back door to the courthouse.
That's the kind of photo that goes viral on CNN and
Yes.
NBC and all that. Look at these cops in West Virginia.
Yes, yeah. Little would they know that I was in the middle of, I just got off shift. I was laying in bed, getting ready to go to sleep, and I heard the door bang open. And just luckily, my kids wasn't home and my wife wasn't.
Yeah.
But it was one of those, like,
That's scary.
I'll never forget at the time, the sheriff we had, his name was Don Meadows. I don't know if you...
I've heard that name.
He's one of those people, you know what you get.
Okay.
He's 100% blunt, and he has one of the...
I like those people.
one
I
of
like
those
to know where I
accents
stand.
and voice and vocals that it just echoes.
Okay.
No matter how much foam you got around this man,
Yeah.
it will echo. And his biggest thing, he was sitting, we called it the control room when I walked the guy in, and he looked at me and he said, well, God damn it, Bish, what the fuck are you doing? That boy,
Those are my favorite people.
Of Hank Hill mixed with a smoker and a drinker and a man that's, you know how big Jim Justice
Yes,
is, right?
yes.
He's about the same size.
Okay.
And just one of the bigger than what you think.
Just not using a scooter to get around.
No.
Holding his own weight.
Yeah, he doesn't have a bulldog.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, I love this. This has been like the best conversation ever. It really has been. I have to tell, if I don't tell you this, it's going to eat me alive.
Okay.
We were in Marlington. My in-laws had a place in right outside of Snowshoe in Clover Lick. Okay. So we're in that area, and there's 3 houses that are inhabited year round. That's it, out this holler. And we go to bed for the night, and, we don't lock doors. You don't close windows because you got the windows open because those houses are all built to let air flow through them, And so it's summer. We go to bed, and I hear this ruckus. And, my husband, we were not married at the time, but he's got a couple of his buddies with him so they can go fishing and do all the man stuff. And they're just passed out because they've been drinking all day. They've been living their best guy life. And I'm like trying to wake them up. And I'm like, do y'all hear that? You hear that? And I look out the window because there's not a lot of curtains on the main floor because you let all that natural light in. It is a gentleman. He saw our cars in the driveway, and there was a few guns in the back because they were shooting guns and stuff like that. So they were in the back of the Jeep, and we just had the soft top on it. So I'm like, he's going to figure it out, and he's going to get one of those guns because we don't have any of them in the house. They're all out there. So finally get my husband and one of his friends, Greg, awake, and he is like yelling obscenities through the door, and he turns into crying. He goes from being angry to crying. Can you please help me? I need help. I don't have any shoes. I'm so cold. And mind you, it's summer, so he's not freezing by any means, but he did not have shoes. He's just going on, and we're trying to get him to calm down. We don't even know the house line even works in this house. So we finally find the phone, get it plugged in, call the cops. Turns out we got really lucky. The family that lives 2 houses down, which I said there's like 3 or 4 houses that are even lived in up there, it was the nephew of her. So he knew exactly what house we were talking about, and he was like, I'm coming around the mountain now. I should be there within 15, 20 minutes, yada, yada, yada. We just broke up a meth party. he's had to have come from there because he's out of his mind completely. And I just remember when we finally got the door open, he just charged, and he had no idea what he was doing. And I think people that are in these like state of minds of whether here's my chance to make a name for myself, like your gentleman, or I just have no idea what I'm doing, they just act out, man, and they are strong. Because they are fearless in that moment. They are fearless. And I remember how scared I was because at the time, my son was like 6 years old. I didn't have my second child yet. And I'm the only one coherent. And I'm just little old me. I'm like, what am I going to do? This big meth addict, like he was a big guy walking around barefooted in the middle of absolutely nowhere. And I just remember the law enforcement. I don't remember their name or anything, but he ended up calling like 2 or 3 sheriffs for backup, and it took them forever to get there. But they just kept talking about how they just thought it was incredible that he had made it on the mountainside as far as he did to get to us from that party, because they were like, there's nowhere else he would have come from. Nowhere else he would have come from. And then about a month later, we had gone back up, and we were asking the woman that lived a couple houses down, what became of him. And she said that he went to jail for quite a while because he resisted arrest. And they got him for like several other things because he really technically didn't do anything wrong. He didn't break anything. He didn't hurt anybody. He was just methed out, But they could not believe that he made it barefoot all the way down. So he went into recovery and drug court and all the things. And apparently is like living this great life, and I'm very happy for him. But I just remember in that moment being like, what in the actual hell is happening? And I bet like you hearing that door breaking, especially right after your shift, like I can only imagine what was going through your head.
To the point where I've taken everything off, I'm laying in bed.
Right.
And I'm at that point of I'm about to fall asleep.
Uh-huh.
And that's the best time.
Yes, it really is like euphoria. Like
So I ended up not sleeping that day.
Oh, I'm sure. I am sure. Especially dealing with I'm sure you got lots of your buddies texting you and calling you. Oh, yeah, nice pants.
Yeah, the biggest thing, because they were
I was be like, you're lucky I had them on,
exactly.
given the situation.
Exactly. So the only reason I had them on because the bedroom was close to the front door of the entrance, and I knew the kids was going to be coming home from school, and I didn't want them to burst open the door. Typically, if I know they're not coming, it's straight nude.
Right. My husband's the same way. That's why I wasn't trying to relate to that, but yeah, my husband's the same way. That's so funny. What can you tell us about Echoes in the Stone?
Okay, I actually brought the synopsis with me.
Okay,
so it's a little bit easier.
Absolutely.
So as you can imagine, with writing these stories, I've got a ton of different things, and sometimes I'll implant stuff that's not it.
Yeah.
So this is the synopsis. Echoes in the Stone is a haunting Appalachian psychological horror novel about memory, trauma, and the unforgiving history buried beneath West Virginia hills. Ellie Glass, a struggling journalist from the fading steel town of Weirton, receives a mysterious email hinting to lost medical files regarding the infamous Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in Weston. Desperate for a story and running from a past shaped by her mother's mental illness, Ellie follows the lead deep into the asylum's shadowed legacy. Inside Weston, she uncovers a forgotten history of overcrowding, human experimentation, and brutal transorbital lobotomies performed by Dr. Walter Freeman. Patient cells, surgical theaters, and silent corridors reveal more than historical tragedy. They echo with voices, movements, and presence no tour guide will acknowledge. As Ellie descends further into the asylum's past, the line between memory and haunting begins to blur, and she questions whether the madness she feels is within the walls or within herself. It is atmospheric, immersive, and grounded in real West Virginia history. Echoes in the Stone explores the weight of generational trauma and the ghosts, both real and physical, that cling to the places we try hardest to forget.
Ooh, I'm stoked for this one. Ooh, that one's like, I'm left speechless a little bit. I'm very intrigued, very intrigued. Now, you brought us a reading of this one, correct?
No.
Actually, which ones you brought us a reading of?
I brought you a reading of something different.
Okay.
Something that I actually, so after you messaged me about this, of course, I did my research and everything, and I was like, yeah. Then I was thinking, God, I'd love to do a book
Yeah.
about this area. I was like, well, away from my Psalm series, what kind of monsters are up here? What kind of folklore?
Yeah.
What kind of stories? I was like, well, Mothman's close, but that's Point Pleasant.
Yeah. We still claim him around here.
You do. And then I was sitting there just going, like, well, what else is up there that's scary and creepy? Ooh, Camden Park.
Yes, that's in my backyard.
Yeah. Then I started doing a little bit of research about the Camden Park Mound.
Yes.
And I was like, ooh, that's interesting. So actually, I did do an outline.
Okay.
And I'm in the process right now of writing book 4 for the Psalm series.
Okay.
And how I'm got it planned out for this next year, and we'll finish that book. That one's looking around March
Okay.
of being completed. Then I'm going to start on another standalone like I did with Echoes in the Stone.
Okay.
Now, keep in mind, this isn't the actual title. This is just what I've wrote down so far.
Okay.
And it's my outline. And it is only 2 pages.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Then also, I want your take on it. And tell me, it's like, no, that sounds like complete bullshit. Fuck off.
Okay. Absolutely.
All right. So far, the working title is called The One That Watches from the Park. People like to talk about the Mothman as if it belongs to Point Pleasant. Like it showed up once, scared people, and stayed put. But around Huntington, folks know better. Camden Park sits just outside the city, right where the roads bend and the trees start to close in. During the day, it's noise, kids, rides, the smell of food drifting over the asphalt. But after the gate close, especially on foggy nights, the place feels wrong. Not abandoned, just watched. There's an old story locals don't usually tell aloud. Back in the late 60s, not long after Point Pleasant sightings, a group of teenagers decided to sneak into Camden Park after dark. This was before cameras, before regular security patrols. They parked along Route 60 and slipped in through the trees near the back of the park instead of using the gate. They said the first thing that hit them was the silence. The rides weren't crackling like you'd expect. The Big Dipper stood there, all that wood and steel frozen against the sky. Its tracks twisted upward like ribs. The coaster hadn't moved in hours, but the air around it felt tight, like something was holding its breath. They walked past the old pond near the Big Dipper, the one that reflects the lights during the day. At night it was black. Steel. No ripples, just a dark mirror pulling the moon apart. They were laughing at first, nervous jokes, daring each other to get closer to the rides. Then one of them stopped and said, "Do you hear that?" It wasn't footsteps, it wasn't wings, it was breathing, slow, deep, measured, like something large was still standing and letting them know it was there. They followed the sound toward the edge of the park, near where Big Dipper curves back toward the trees. That's when they saw it, standing just beyond the coaster supports, not perched, not flying, standing, tall, broad. The shape was wrong in a way that the brain tries to fix but can't. And the eyes didn't glow like lights. They reflected what light little there was. Red, wet animal. Someone whispered, "It's just an owl." Owls don't stand upright, not like this. And they don't step forward without a sound. The thing moved closer. No leaves crunching, no branches snapping, just closer. When it spread its wings, not to fly, but to show how wide they were. The shadow of them pressed over the wooden beams of the Big Dipper. That's when they ran. They bolted past the pond, past the ride supports, back through the trees. One of them tipped and swore something brushed against his shoulder. Close enough to feel the air move. None of them looked back. None of them ever went into Camden Park after dark again. Years later, park workers started telling their own stories. Lights turned on near the Big Dipper after closing. Ride control panels flickered with no power. Security guards, when they finally started coming, refused to patrol the fence line near the coaster and the tree line overlooking the river valley. One guard quit after reporting a man with wings standing near the tracks, looking out towards the Ohio River. And here's the part locals don't laugh at. Every so often, late at night, someone drives past the park, will say they saw something perched on the Big Dipper on highest support, or just standing beyond the ride lights, always watching the road, always facing the river. People say the Mothman appears before tragedy, collapse, accidents, floods. But in Appalachia, there's another belief. Sometimes these things aren't warnings. Sometimes they're witnesses. And Camden Park sits right where the road, the river, and the wood meets, a crossroads. A place built on noise and laughter, planted over something much older. So if you ever drive past Camden Park at night and see a red reflection where no light should be, locals will tell you the same thing they always have. Don't stop, don't stare, and whatever you do, don't go near the Big Dipper after dark. Because some things don't leave the valley when the story stopped. They just learned how to wait.
Because we know in Appalachia, if you seen it or you heard it, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Oh, my God. I have chills. I'm excited for this. Like, very excited. I get, like, stoked about some Camden Park stories. So I grew up, just to give a little history of why I get so stoked. My uncles all worked after they worked for the state. And they're younger, they was building like Eastland Lake, Beach Fork, all that, they all took to the next big job in the community, working at Camden Park, So hearing their stories over my childhood, that just like, I know you were reading and not paying attention to me, but I'm over here like, oh, that's good. Oh, God, that's real good, I'm like in it. So I can't wait for this. This is great. And I think people are going to love it. I think they're really going to love it.
Yeah, like I said, that is just the outline. Now, how I'll do it, I'm going to break that outline into acts.
Okay.
I'll break probably around 2 or 3 different acts, and then those acts will be chapters. Typically, I like to do 5 chapters per act, and it also depends on how long I want it to go. And, of course, I have no characters yet.
Yeah.
I have an idea of the story. I don't know if it's going to be a happy ending or a sad ending or a bad one.
So, a little advice from little old me. There is a gentleman that we just had on the podcast recently. I don't know if you listened to the Camden Park episode. His name's Clinton Burley. He will have, I think he will be very useful to you in building your characters. He grew up with his dad as the manager of Camden Park. Okay. So like you need to listen to that episode. I don't want to ruin it, but it was probably, sorry to anybody else, I don't want to offend, but that was probably my favorite episode this year. Favorite episode to record. I still listen to it like I haven't heard it because it's so cool. But I mean, maybe even listen to that episode will give you enough like foresight to like get the gears moving but he knows so many details about Camden Park and rides that have come and gone, how they came about, the history of like when Camden Park had a zoo, and I mean it's crazy the knowledge that this gentleman has. So I think like if you connect with him, he's a talker. Clinton, you are. I'm not bad mouthing you, but you hang on to his words. Okay. So I think if you find him, I'll send you his social media stuff, and you can connect with him if you like. If you don't, that's fine too. But he's awesome, and he is a storyteller too. So I bet you guys will just job very well. 100%. Oh, yeah. I'm very excited for this.
Oh, yeah. I still got a lot of research to do. I want to make sure I get the ride's name right.
Yeah.
Which I know I got the reflecting pool.
Yes.
I remember that because I remember when I was little, we came up this way too. Because Camden Park was the big trip.
Yes.
Sweet was poor.
Yes, same. Same. If it wasn't for family working there, I don't know that we could have afforded to get in back then, even though it was cheap back then.
It was during that time, it was either Dollywood or Camden Park.
Camden
Park was closer, or, can't forget Tweetsie Railroad.
Oh, yes.
Did you ever do that one?
I did not, but I always heard about it, yes.
They're still open, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yes. I was looking into it because my new wife, we've been married 6 months now.
Okay.
And this is December, so I'm getting them. So
congratulations.
If you hear this later on in the month, no, I got the timing right. But, so I got a 4-year-old stepdaughter.
Yeah.
And I'm just going.
So you're finding things.
Again, I'm just going, We didn't get to do it with my kids because I was working a lot. And I'm thinking, oh, wow, let's take her down to Tweetsy.
Yeah.
Have the little cowboy shootouts.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. See, and that's going to be the fun thing about you guys having like the new kid and all that. You're going to have the time that you didn't have before to like make all these, and imagine what her little brain's going to be like by the experiences you're going to have with her.
Oh yeah.
That's so exciting. That's so fun. So fun.
Yeah, but I look at when I do start my big research on that, because I'm still on the process of book, like I said, of that one.
Yeah, and like I said, when you're ready, I think he will be a wealth of knowledge for you. And he knows so many things that like you wouldn't even think about for a park. But it's so cool anyways. Any upcoming signings, events, or releases that our listeners can look out for?
Okay, yes. Okay, see, Echoes of the Stone, it got released December 12th.
That just happened, yes.
Just happened. The ebook and paperback and hardcover.
Okay.
At this moment, it is in the process of being converted into an audiobook, being read by Daniel LaRiviere. I'm sorry, Dan, if I'm saying your last name wrong. He lives in Kentucky.
Okay.
He is a retired Air Force veteran.
Nice.
And so far, in understanding, I sent you a listen of it. Did you get a chance to listen to it?
I haven't listened to it yet, but it's got to be in the car thing, and I haven't really been going anywhere. I've been doing like all the holiday prep around the house, so I haven't been in the car long enough to give my focus.
Yeah. But that audiobook's in the process. He actually emailed me today. He's done with the rough go-through, but he's got to go through and listen to it, make sure everything's good.
Yeah.
The editing part. The fun part as creators we hate.
Yeah, exactly.
That's looking probably around late January, early February when it comes out.
Okay.
Room 316's audiobook is halfway through with that narrator, Ashen Morier.
You said she's a West Virginia girl, right?
Yes. She lives in Charleston. She narrated the first book, Lady in Flesh. She is my dedicated narrator for the Psalm series.
Okay.
Her voice is perfect. I know I'm just starting out.
There's something about a woman voice for psychological thrillers.
Yeah, it's
I don't know what it is, but
I'll go ahead and say it in the Psalm series, you're seeing the story through the lady.
Yeah.
You're getting the story from her, even though it's in third person. It is her, and how Ashen presents it and talks and does some of these things with her voice to change it to.
It's a talent.
It's one of those, even though I write the words, I know what's coming. I know this line is coming.
But hearing it from someone,
it gives me I'm just like, ooh. And I have to say it, same thing with Daniel. He sent me a couple things to listen to as he's going through it. And I'm just sitting back with goosebumps going, wow.
Wow.
But with both of them, they're going to be something big, I feel, with the whole creative process with the narration.
It's exciting. I can only imagine what that would feel like, because I thought that to myself, like once I feel like I finished my, I guess, biography, I'm like, you're not going to get that full impact unless I hear someone else read it, you know?
And then also it's a process, figuring out who you're going to have be the narrator.
I'm sure.
I go through Audible. That's who I have. That's what I go through. And you will get, I'll say, like with when I first put up Echoes in the Stone, within 12 hours, I had 122 auditions to listen to of people wanting to be
the narrator. Yeah.
And in order to do that, I put up a script that they have to read that comes from the book, not the whole book, because that's how thieving happens.
Right. Absolutely.
No.
Yeah. None of that.
Yeah. But then I would have to sit and listen. There'd be about like 5-6 minutes each of listening. And it got to the point I am tired of it. But it was a few of them. Yeah, it's one of those, okay, I understand you have a dream, but
this maybe is not the career for you.
Yes. Yeah. You might be able to do it for yourself.
Yeah.
And this ain't happening. But then there's those like with Daniel, just one of those, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This guy's got the talent.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I need.
Yeah. And then to brag on him a little bit, he don't know this. I'm not going to say the name. There's actual people on this Audible that you go through where you upload your manuscript and stuff that they actually read. There's some highly people that you're like, holy shit, that guy, that girl. Well, I got one audition from a lady. She was a big to-do. She was one of those I was thinking, oh, that's a guarantee.
You want to read my book?
It was one of those that was be a guaranteed paycheck. Mm-hmm. Guaranteed. But her voice didn't fit.
Yeah.
And she said Appalachia wrong.
That's a no.
Yes.
It's a no immediately.
That was my immediate thing. And then
yes.
And whenever I'd sit and listen to them, I'd highlight the name. I'd Google who are they.
Yeah.
Make sure it's a real person, not one of the AI people.
The bots. Yeah.
Just but
I hate the world. I hate the world sometimes.
But seeing that, and then so Daniel, because I'm sure you're going to hear this, you did beat out somebody from Hollywood.
Ooh, look at you. Go, yeah. Daniel.
But I'm telling you, his voice is perfect. It's got that smooth, buttery. Through that story, you're listening from the doctor, Dr. Freeman.
Nice.
That
yeah.
kind of got that elegant,
yeah.
Early 40s, 50s, I'm better than you talk.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I know exactly what you mean.
And then whenever he talks in the monsters voice.
I'm so excited for these things.
I can't talk enough about Daniel or Ashen. They are and they both, Daniel's retired from the Air Force. Ashen, she still works full-time at a factory in Charleston. She does YouTube and all this, and she's just very talented. I can't get enough of it.
What a cool thing to, how do you just, wake up one morning, oh, I'd like to read novels for people.
Yeah.
What a cool career.
And then have the ability and
have the skill set. Yeah, yes. That's incredible because that's one of the hardest things for me is listening to myself.
Oh God, I hate it.
It's the worst.
I hear it and I'm going because in my own head, I know now because I've heard my own voice on recordings during court and stuff.
Yeah,
on the radio that in my head I sound pretty deep.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Exactly. Exactly. I tell people that all the time. And there are I listen to every single episode, but there are few that I listen to over and over. And it's kind of like you zone out and take yourself out of yes. This isn't me. I'm just listening to something,
Oh, yeah.
So I get that 100%.
Okay, let's see. Upcoming events.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to appear at the Appalachian Word Fest in Silverville, Tennessee. Ooh. That's down in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg. For those that don't know Silverville, that's the county.
I was going to say Appalachia. If it's Myrtle Beach or Nashville or Silverville.
Yes.
What's the other one that everybody goes to? The Smoky Mountains.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is in the heart of the Smokies. So far, there's 70 plus authors going to be there.
Ooh, nice.
From all over Appalachia. You got people like me for horror. You got some with thrillers, romance, mysteries, and according to the website, they got a couple bigwigs.
Okay.
That they got question marks in front of the "Guess who this is" type stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Who?
Just tell us. Just let me know.
Yeah, but it looks like it's going to be fun. I've got a book signing after that on March 13th in Princeton at the Hatter's Bookshop. And that one's probably going to be the same time that I'm hopefully getting book 4 released for.
Nice.
Fingers crossed as long as I get done with it.
If your timeline pans out the way you want it to.
Yes. But luckily it's wintertime. And so far our winter has shown like it's going to work.
Yeah. Our winter has been a beer for sure.
Yeah. I always say, I know you probably do it the same way as I do. During the summertime, man, I can't wait till winter. I can't wait till the summer. Yes. And then it hits, and I'm 1 week into it, and I'm like, man.
And I always say that's my favorite part of West Virginia is experiencing all the seasons. But while we're experiencing, I'm like, get me out of here. Yeah. Why do I live where my face hurts in the cold?
Yeah, and the same, we have it all in one day.
Yes. Actually, when I went outside the day before yesterday, I was like, what in the world is going on? Some terrible weather event is coming our way for it to go from 17 degrees to I think it was 46. I was like,
y'all
what?
had 70, we had 4 degrees.
Oh, no. That's not for me.
That's one of those.
And it may have got that cold during the night. I don't know, but
No, this
just
was middle of the day.
Oh, no.
That was-
No.
What was it, like 3 or 4 years ago we had that Arctic blast?
Yes.
That,
Yes.
It was at Christmas time. Because I remember Concord literally froze up.
Yes.
All the pipes froze up and a few busted, and the water rushing out of the roof buildings was frozen.
Oh,
It was
nice.
one of those, I was like, that's real pretty, but
Oh, this is
Poor
going to be a
maintenance.
lot
Poor
of,
maintenance.
yeah, that's going to be a
Oh,
lot of work
guys.
for somebody. Absolutely. That's funny. So where can people buy your books, follow your work, and stay connected?
All right, all my books are available on Amazon. Just you can type in my name and on the search bar, and it'll pull up all my books. We got paperback, hard book, Kindle edition. And you can also do the audiobooks from there. It'll pop up on the little thing, or you can go to Audible and do that. Now, granted, right now it's only Laid in the Flesh on it, but right now, last I looked, it got released September 30th, and it is doing very well.
Awesome.
It is doing very well.
Good.
On top of that, you can find my books on my website, joshuabishwritings.com. On my website, I do little promotional things, such as I have a blog series, like I mentioned earlier, little behind the scenes and little giveaway things that I connect with my readers. All I ask is if you're interested with it, on the very bottom of it, sign up for the email list. That's where I send out all my updates, what's happening, and where I announce my giveaways. Like my most recent one, right now it's not out, but I was going to wait till the week between Christmas and New Year's to put it out there. And I try to do at least one a month of, hey, participate in this poll. I'm going to put your name in a hat, and if I draw your name, you're going to get a book in the mail. It might be one of my books.
I love the old school hat, name in the hat.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that whole spinny thing.
I don't trust it.
I don't either.
I don't think it's legit.
No, I'm just going to write your name, put it in a hat, and pick it.
Yes.
That's it. And I've given away. I'd rather give my books away.
I get that.
It's like I said from the beginning. I know I'm not going to become rich off this. I'm not looking to be famous. I just want to tell my stories. I want somebody to read it, and if you like it, tell somebody.
Yep.
If you don't like
Share
it,
it.
tell them too. Tell them this was the worst thing I've ever read. Go for it. I'm fine with it.
There's actually a Reddit group that is just that, like the worst book you've ever read. And like there is so many people in that community. If you're not familiar with Reddit, you know, these people become attached to these groups that they get in. But I feel like more people get their stuff read and looked at or listened to, in my case, for podcasts, because that's usually what I'm deep diving into, from that list than there is of people like with positive things to say. And I'm like, well, you know, there's something to be said. So let it be said.
Well, it's just like, what was it? The cult classic stuff. Whenever it first comes out, it's horrible. It's just like, what was it? Did you ever see The Mist?
I did not.
Mark Wahlberg.
Was it the one where they get trapped like in the superstore or the mall or something like that? No,
This is
okay.
the one where the wind is killing everybody.
Oh, no, I've never
It
seen
was
that.
the worst damn movie I've ever seen in my life.
See, I will watch stuff like that, like just out of
It's
curiosity.
one of those, you get done watching it.
Get into the 4x4. It's one of those.
But it's just one of those. At the end of it, I'm sorry if you haven't seen it. I'm spoiling it, but it's been out quite a few years, so you get yours. Mark Wahlberg, the guy that played Luigi on the Super Mario Brothers movie back in the 90s.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't know his name.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
I can picture his face.
He's in it, and you know, the wind goes around, and people just upright start killing themselves and dying. I mean, it's gruesome. It's got a hell of an idea, but how it ends, just once you want to pull your eye, it just stops.
It just stops.
stops.
I hate that.
And it's just like, what did I waste my time on?
Yeah, what was the point of this?
Yeah, but that's a cult classic now, and because it's a cult classic, it's popped up on all my. I'm sure you do like I do.
Yeah.
You know, let's all hail our Disney overlords and watch their stuff.
Yes.
And it popped up on that, and I was going, that was the worst fucking movie I had ever seen in my life.
Right. I get it. And like I said, it's like those little VHSs that get into the 4x4 now. It's ridiculous. And they're always doing like exactly opposite of what you should do in that moment, you know, whatever. Well, Josh, it has been so fun having you on. We are going to throw some of your narrations files that you sent me into the episode. I don't know where Circle will put that, but they're the magic, so I'll let them do their thing.
Yeah, they are very. Once you hear them, you're going to be like, Especially the part I sent you for Ashen is the part where she's reading Room 316.
Okay.
It's kind of in the middle of the book, but it's during one of the climaxes. And you can feel it in her voice. Even if you will have no idea what she's talking about. But whenever you hear it, you're going to go, oh, this is big.
Yeah.
This is big.
See, I'm going to have to listen to those before I start reading. That way I just am waiting for the moment. I love that. All right. Well, like I said, it's been wonderful. We've been here for, 2.5 hours, I feel like, I think, give or take. But I hope you come back when you release the next book.
Oh, more than happy to.
Absolutely.
I
It'll
won't
be
bring
fun.
4 books, so maybe one at a time.
All right.
Yeah, Vanessa, this has been great.
No,
really
thank you.
appreciate it.
I love that you made the trip down.
Oh, it's not up. I went up.
Well, up. Sorry.
Yes,
I am not directional. I am directionally challenged. There we go. Goodness
Pull up
gracious.
your West Virginia roadmap. Okay, whenever you're looking at it.
Yes.
I'm down here in the wrist.
Well, now that I'm not traveling as much for work, I'll tell my husband, oh, I was in so-and-so. He's like, that's nowhere near where you were, because Life 360. So he knows where I'm at. That's nowhere near where you are. I was like, are you sure? I don't know. I followed GPS. I don't know. I got there and I made it back. That's all that matters. All right, guys, we are out of here.
Thanks for listening to the Tri-State Time Machine. If you have a memory you want Vanessa to talk more about, just send her an email at tstm@mail.com or post a comment on the Tri-State Time Machine Facebook page. Did you like the episode? Be sure to share it with friends and family. It's the only way we can continue this fun work that we do. You can find a link in the show notes that you can use to share it.
The air in the room shuddered. The shadows seemed to thicken, folding inward around him like fabric drawn to a magnet. Ellie tried to back away, but her body slammed against the wall. Cold tile pressed into her spine. Her hands shook so hard she could hear the fabric of her jacket rustling. She gasped, desperate for air that didn't smell like rust and blood. Freeman turned his head toward her. The movement wasn't natural. It didn't follow the slow grace of a man. It snapped, like something cracking its neck too far to one side. His gaze locked on hers. For the first time since the apparition had formed, he saw her. The corners of his mouth twisted upward into a grotesque smile, wide and jagged, skin pulling at the seams of his face as if it might tear. The nurse kept his eyes down. The patient lay still. Freeman stepped forward just one pace and raised the blood-tipped ice pick in her direction. Ellie's heart slammed into her ribs. The shadows at his feet stretched out, long and thin, crawling toward her across the tile like black veins. Freeman's black eyes glinted like oil as his smile widened. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. The meaning was clear in every inch of that stretched, inhuman grin. You're next. The walls shuddered once, a tremor so small it could have been imagined, until the floor answered back. Ellie couldn't breathe. The air between her and Freeman stretched thin, like the room itself was holding its breath with him. His smile didn't move, but it widened. Not physically, but in the way a wound seems bigger the longer you stare at it. The black in his eyes seemed to swell outward, pulling the corners of the room into it. Her heel struck the baseboard as she pushed herself back, searching for an inch of space that didn't exist. The wall was cold against her spine. The tile beneath her boots thrummed faintly, as if it were alive. He took one step forward, just one. The sound of it, rubber sole against tile, was impossibly loud. A single step filled the entire theater. Ellie's chest seized. She screamed. The sound ripped through the air like a blade. It was raw, guttural, the kind of sound pulled from somewhere deeper than her lungs. Her voice hit the surgical theater and came back wrong. It echoed like it was bouncing off water. Freeman's grin twitched wider, the black in his eyes catching the moonlight.
Officer Kent does have a friendly smile. Maybe he can help. Excerpts from Journal 4, October 30th. Stephen is kind. Told me to call him Stephen instead of Officer Kent. But he doesn't understand. I think the room lets him in because it's playing with us. It likes to pretend. It wants me to hope. November 5th. I don't trust the bathroom anymore. The faucet turns on when I close my eyes. The mirror shows me blinking too late. Sometimes I see Natalie in it, or something shaped like her, but too long, too thin. The joints are all wrong. She waves. I don't. November 9th. I think room 316 isn't a room at all. It's a door. Final journal, Journal 5. The last journal was nearly filled, but the final 15 pages were eerily similar. There were no dates, no structured entries, just a progression of frantic, slanted handwriting pressed deep into the paper, the pen cutting through the pages in places. Tap, 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 316. Tap, 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 316. Tap, 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 316. Don't answer. It wears your face. Tap, 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 316. He's behind the wall. He's behind the wall. He's behind the wall. I opened the closet and it blinked. There's more than one mirror. I saw myself leave, but I never left. It pulled me through my name. Tap, 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 316. The final page was blank, except for a fingerprint, a smudge of dark, oily residue pressed neatly in the center. Tests would later confirm it was not human.